No more dead puppies.
My lord, I have heard much about your accomplishments. I understand you are not averse to occasional off-the-record tasks which require some discretion. One of our officers has just had an unfortunate dust-up with a valuable delegate, and we need to doctor the results.
You what?
Why don't you lay out the situation first?
This officer recently quarreled with one of our Chiss delegates. The delegate did not survive. The Chiss have provided crucial intelligence here and elsewhere in the war. It would not do to strain relations with them.
What's your plan?
We have doctored a security recording to make it appear that Balmoran rebels attacked the delegate. We need someone with no direct connection to this officer to go to the room where the murder occurred and upload the doctored footage to the security cameras. With luck, we can turn this into a galvanizing point against the rebels.
Just show me where the fun is.
The delegate was killed in the back room of a cantina. I'll give you the coordinates. Just tell our man at the door that you're working for Brearden, and he'll let you pass.
Oh, I've been invited by Cara Dunes! And yes, the Chiss are allied with the Sith Empire. Jeez, I hate this. Alright, where am I going? Over there. 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 And there. Okay. First of all, ping to you, Flagant. Good morning, let's see here. Justin, J. Palmer, Blade Duval, Ect, Vigilant, Retu, Damashi, Pillars of Snow, who refuses to join the party, and Mr. Red. You gotta say party, right? It's very important. Not existing yet, J. Palmer. There will not be cake. There will, however, be pie.
I'm working for Brearden.
Go on in, but be careful. The delegate's bodyguard droids are still alive. On full alert. Go. Hello. Oh my god! Look what the Separatists are doing! How could they do this? This is truly terrifying. Yeah, let me electrocute these people, for goodness! Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Happy birthday, Diesel Edge. Do something fun today. Or get something good today. I don't care what. But do it. Getting these worthless abilities, good lord. I need to switch specs. Oh, speaking of which, actually, here. So we're currently Madness, right? Yes. Now, these Separatists are just monsters. I cannot even believe they would do something so horrific. I should probably also buy this over here. Okay. Bounty hunter with the stupid little name. Nope, I'm not going to try that. You deserve better than me butchering. Good morning, Jesse Ward. Good thank you, Jesse Ward. Good evening, Jesse Ward. Good White Knight Chronicles 2. Jesse Ward. Like the mouths. All of them. Oh yeah, I should get some music going. Sorry, I was late this morning because I had to go to the UPS store this morning, as you may or may not remember. It's okay, the new hard drive is in and functioning. I'm transferring about 200 gigs over to it as we speak. But, that was still substantially more of a hassle than it really should have been. How much of a hassle? Well, here's what should have happened. Hi. Wave note. This is dropped off here for me. Could I have it, please? Yeah, sure. Grab. Here you go. Have a nice day. It took me about 45 minutes to accomplish that task.
I handled your cover-up. As far as anyone will know, the rebels killed that Chiss.
Excellent. And I have heard nothing of it, which is even better. Please accept this payment for your service and your silence. We've never met.
So yeah, that was my morning. I didn't get anything done this morning other than that. Wait, nope, that's not true. That's not true. I did one thing. Can anyone guess? No, of course you can't guess. I was right next to the grocery store, so I figured I'd pick up a couple of things. And I do mean just a couple of things. It was just like a 5-minute in and out. But while I was there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab a Butterfingers. They didn't have any. Now, I'm not saying there's some kind of European conspiracy to remove Butterfingers from existence. But what did you do to my Butterfingers? Hold up. Where's Pillars? I really like that helmet. I mean, the whole armor is actually pretty legit, but that's a good helmet. I like that.
Well, if it isn't the best paid engineering consultant on Balmora. Oh, my lord, I didn't realize. I mean, no one told me you'd be Sith. My apologies for the familiarity. But if you don't mind me asking, what is someone like you doing working for Officer Sakol?
I serve the people.
Sure, the kind of servants who kill the master, then run a planetary takeover from his front porch. I can make it worth your while for dirt on how Officer Sakol's been spending Troider money.
Keep your credits. I'll just take what I'm owed.
Suit yourself. I'm sure I can find someone else who knows what Sakol's up to.
I'm just going to spoil this right now. We're probably going to be more light than dark on our Inquisitor. Because we're playing an evil Inquisitor. In case you wonder why I tend to say things like the light side is evil, or can be evil, or is messed up, or whatever else, it's stuff like that. And Mega Skullmon, Spockmon.
Keep trying to raise them. I may have another avenue. My lord, I'm Major Taris, commander of the 2nd Battalion. We have an emerging situation. I have need of your assistance and your discretion. We have a rescue operation that must be mounted immediately.
Is this someone important?
It's not a single person. We've lost contact with Besh Company's entire 1st platoon. We sent them into the Akara droid factory for a covert electronic operation. 8 hours ago, their communications blacked out, which means the droids are onto them.
That can't be good.
I'll be frank. Other than grass, the soldiers are the only living things within a click of that factory. That's the droid's protocol. Nothing survives. So when I say I need you to find 1st platoon, I mean it.
It would be an honor.
Their ranking officer is Lieutenant Rutau. If the droids got him, then please, take command and lead the unit back.
Yeah, exactly, MPPY. I think that's mostly a Inquisitor thing, but yeah, no, the full dark side Inquisitor is just as opposed to evil. I am playing evil. See? Extremely evil. Completely ignored the guardrail that definitely existed there. That's this, right? It has to be. Alright, whatever. We're gonna assume it is. The Arbiter Battlecruiser? Which one was that one? Hey, Zach Taft. Good luck, Mr. Red. Secretly, Mr. Red is actually Mr. Glow. Sorry for spoiling that. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. God damn this map. That's probably on me. Trying to do too many things at once here. Speaking of which, let's see. Remind me what the trade is, Justin, if you don't mind. I don't know, Zach Taft. You might be lying to me. But you would never lie to me, right, Zach Taft? Because if you did... Ah, right, so I'm doing... Yep. And then... Jesus, Justin. That's, yeah, that's pretty mean. Let's put this there, just get rid of that completely. Correct, Act. We're actually ignoring the all category of the review right now. What should be linking me? Oh, that thing. Whoop. Hello. Excuse me. Yeah, the final no really trait is going to be interesting. And by trait, I of course mean number. I can talk straight. I don't know, Zach Taft. Think you're lying. Now, if you hit refresh, the button shows up, and the button lets you share it, I might believe you. Maybe. But only if you check... Okay, hang on. Where's the... Right here. Nope, that's the... I'm gonna be slightly upset if this is exactly what I think it is. Ha ha! Behold! The truth comes out! And it's the fact that you were telling the truth the whole time. Oh my god, I hate this quest. It's okay, it's whatever. It's whatever. It's done. Whatever it is we had to do, we are done with. You know what? I don't know why I'm debating this. This is a negative to gameplay. This has been a consistent issue this entire playthrough. The question is it 3 negatives or 18 negatives? What do y'all think? 3 or 18? Okay, I'm exaggerating, but the problem is the quest tracker. So the quest tracker, you know what, hang on, before I start yammering about gameplay design. Nobody wants to hear my thoughts about gameplay design. I actually had someone just last night be like, I don't understand why you would stream a game and speak negatively about it, which is one of the strangest quotes I've gotten lately. While I'm on the subject. Actually, let's do... Take a moment to say thank you, Zach Taft. Now, I can't actually allocate that to anything because that's actually the gift sub that Ciela gave you, and you allocated that when she gave it to you. But I still want to say thank you for 2 years of being around. You're awesome, Zach Taft. Thank you. And if you want to, I don't know, put some extra interest just for being around for 2 years towards something, I'm okay with that. Just for, you know, kicks or whatever. Quests. Alright. That should never be your answer, your reaction to the video game. Damn it, more quests. Good question, Mega Skullmon Spockman. You figure that out, you let me know. And thank you, Pterodactyl. Much appreciate. If you want to put that towards something, or let Looks like K tonight. Put that towards something. Please let me know. Thank you, both of you. Entropy 02. What the hell is Entropy 02? Entropy 02. Right. Okay. When did you donate towards that act, and by what method did you use? Bits. That sucks. Okay. Hit the stream breaks because it's actually really hard to track bits because Twitch is stupid. But it's okay. I can do that. I just don't know if I can do that far enough back to find those bits. You got it, Pterodactyl. Thank you again. Give me a moment or so. Pterodactyl's putting it towards Wrath. BC. And thank you, Jay Palmer. Please stop donating. Stop donating! Trying to catch up. Alright, alright. Jay Palmer has decided to pay for the $600 hard drive I just bought, which I'm still transferring files to. That takes a while. Ace Combat 0. You got it. Which, is that on the list? You know what, Warp Core? That's one of those weird things, isn't it? Okay, it is on the list. Got it. I believe you. Alright, so let's see if I can find this donation from Act. So I need to... Let's do this. Act. $1 4 days ago. Does that sound right? Okay. I love this. The only option I have, Act, is to report you for that donation. That's the only toggle it gives me. I'm just amused by that. No extra information, no time stamping. Just report this user. End statement. Jesus, Twitch. You know, we were talking just last night about how Twitch seems to have this thing where it's looking at YouTube and being like, hold my beer. Alright. Can't stand crud being on my glasses. Can anyone stand crud being on their glasses? Actually, that's a stupid question. I know someone who has no problem with that. It's just weird. 5 unskippable ads. The greatest of all kinds. Jesus. Alright, so... So let me write that down as a potential. I do still have to actually do my feasibility test. No! I mean, that's only like 80 donations, Jay Palmer, so that's okay. Now, if you all wanted to add a new game, well, I hope you have some backups ready, because that's why we have the backup concept. I mean, don't ever say that. It's on Steam, so it should be okay. Has not been true for about a decade. I think it's mostly just dust in my case, Warpcore. I got a lot of fans going, so I have a bit of a dust problem, so I have to stay on top of that pretty regularly. Okay, so Klug, $1. Oh, by the way, Ect, what's your backup? Okay, there you go. That's. Thank you. Now I gotta go look up what the name of the game was, because I totally remember. I did glance at it, but I didn't buy it yet, so that's the problem. There it is. Entropy 02. PMD, Gates of something, probably Infinity. Meanwhile, Jaluda's like, donating. Thank you, Jaluda. What music is playing? I will put that towards the Resident Evil 1 remake. And thank you again for the support. And for the new hard drive. Alright. Okay. I know, Trihexia. That doesn't... You guys really don't seem to understand. So let me lay this out very clearly. I don't care if it's on Steam. I don't care if it's on GOG. I don't care if it came out 5 years ago. I don't care about anything. There are you guys donate for such a huge variety of games, not a bad thing, that I always, nowadays, make sure to buy a game and test it and make sure it is procurable, playable, and streamable before I accept it being on the list. I have to do my due diligence, which means anytime anybody adds a game to the list, I go buy that game pretty much the minute that that I go do those tests. Usually during the lunch break or after work during the day. So, that's a good question, Pterodactyl. Do me a favor, Pterodactyl. Go type into chat !veto and search for Silent Hill on that list. Okay. I have crud on my... No! Why? I own literally thousands of games, yes. I have a pile of just console games over there, most of which come without boxes, which I buy whenever people add them, and I just throw them onto the pile. At some point, I might actually go through the effort and work of getting them, tagged and boxed and all that, but honestly, until those games are actually run, I don't care. So, haven't done that yet. This is just my morning in a nutshell. Waiting. Just waiting. Wasting my time. Getting crud. This was a smear in this case. And actually, crud on my glasses bugs me, but smears drive me to murderous rage. And nobody wants me to be in a murderous rage. Well, okay. If you do want me to be in a murderous rage, well, that's your business. I'm not here to judge. But I actually do have a PS2 hooked up, but I use emulation whenever possible because emulation is 9 times out of 10 more reliable and just better across the board. So, okay.
Ah, the apprentice. I was wondering when you'd reach the front lines. I'm Fixer 66. I'm with the operations branch of Imperial Intelligence, and if you have a moment, I'd like to show you something.
I see you're monitoring communications. What more should I know?
On the left is an ordinary Republic comm unit issued to Resistance fighters. You've probably seen hundreds before. This other one is a Republic comm unit that has undergone some surgery. Please look, don't touch. The second one contains a ½ kilo of high explosive that detonates when the talk button is pressed.
War crimes.
I assume this is meant to deal with the Resistance.
Yes, the plan is to take a few of these sabotaged comm units behind the Resistance's lines and plant them on their dead. The Resistance should soon salvage the comms and take them back to their headquarters. The resulting explosions will cripple and panic them. We'd prefer someone like you to take point. Someone who won't break if captured and who can go without reinforcements. Can you do this?
This is actually really messed up.
The Resistance will soon see death everywhere.
Well, if that's your business, you certainly came to the right planet. Head over to our technical man, a Balmora local we drafted. The men call him Toybox. He'll give you the ordnance and show you how to transport it safely.
Like, this is actually really messed up. So, side share, nothing fancy, just talking.
Fixer 66 called with the details. I've got your comm units rigged and ready to go. Oh, my name's Toybox, or that's what they call me. I used to make... Well, never mind. Quite a plan the Fixer's got. What do you think of it?
It's horrifically evil.
It's closer to terrorism than warfare.
Yeah, if you ask me, Fixer 66 has been fantasizing about the results of this mission a little too much. He's assuming soldiers will be the ones stripping any Resistance bodies, but civilians pick over bodies all the time. Refugees, sympathizers, sometimes you'll even see children do it.
I don't see the issue.
Look, you may not lose any sleep over it, but you have to admit we're aiming for soldiers, right? They're higher value targets. While I was making the bombs, I remembered I had some empty grenade casings lying around. Now, a comm unit anyone will activate. But if we trapped a grenade to explode when armed, only soldiers will be in the blast. What would you think of that?
Give me the grenades. I'll put them to use.
Here, they're all of the same type, so you don't confuse them with any you might be carrying. Just put them on the Resistance bodies, and Fixer 66 will love the results, I guarantee it.
It looks like Pillars of Snow is our daily evil person. Or maybe it was Vigilant, I don't know. The point is, everyone's evil. Except for me. I'm just here to kill people. That's not true. Killing people is nice, but honestly, I'm here to conquer. I don't want you to be in pieces on my throne room. I want you to kneel. So, with that stated, of the nominally good factions of their respective games, does the Federation STO do more or less war crimes than the Republican Tor? Even ignoring the fact that in STO, the Federation is not exactly the good guys, they still do a tremendously less amount of horrifically evil stuff than the Republic. The Republic does a lot of really evil stuff. They're just a little bit more... They try to justify it more, is actually how I think I'm going to phrase that. And you're probably thinking, you're just being pro-Empire. Think about this for just a second. The Empire just does something evil. The Republic says, well, we have to do something evil. Then they do something evil. So. Which, it's just more fuel to the fire that we were always supposed to have just the bad guy faction. Bad writing, Latario. So, what do you think about Wikipedia as a general source of info? Oh, Jesus, that's a thing I don't want to get into. But, since you asked my question, I'll tell you the answer. And the answer is...
Well, well. I should have known Bessaker wouldn't let me go without a fight. But sending a Sith seems a bit like overkill. Are you here to kill me, or are you going to torture me first?
Thanks for reminding me.
No, listen. I won't be scared into returning. I risked my life to come here. Being an Imperial scientist, it's a fate worse than death.
Watching as I make a necklace from your entrails is another.
I won't go back to that place. You don't know what it's like. We're not expected to be men. We're machines, slaving day in and day out. No intellectual freedom, no creativity. I'm tired of building killing machines. I want to do some good for humanity. I can't go back there.
I can promise you, I'm not trying to build a killing machine.
I know better than to believe the promises of a Sith. You'll have to kill me. I'll never return to the Empire willingly.
Do this one thing for me, and I promise to get you back to the Republic.
You're serious, aren't you? What kind of a Sith are you, anyway?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go. But I'm holding you to your promise. I can't be away from my research here for long. We're working on a new field medical technology. Nothing special, not even classified. Here, you should try one of these.
Die, J. Palmer.
Major Bessica sent us in after you to collect the scientist.
Take him, but don't hurt him.
Of course. We'll see you back at Sobrik.
An intelligent Jedi? Be real. I could believe, faster than light travel, force magic, and ghosts that speak to people, but an intelligent Jedi?
Sith, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sure you're very busy. Congratulations, by the way. I heard that you found our scientist. We'll whip up that serum and get you into that toxic waste pit in no time. But There's a problem, and I need your help.
I'd be happy to help any way I can.
It's my son. He arrived shortly after you left for the research facility, but then he went after some holocron, he called it. A few minutes ago, I got what I think was a distress call from him. He's in trouble.
Do you know where he is?
We narrowed the origin of the distress call to an abandoned building near the Republic crater outpost. I'm guessing the Republic's captured him, which means a lot of fighting to free him. Good luck.
Yeah, we're not at the pit yet. I believe that's the last step, Mike Demano. We're getting there, though. Okay, so that's the droid factory. That's the turn-in. That's where there. Let's unmark that for just a... Okay. I mean, tea is fantastic. Speaking of which... Ooh. No, that's a good temperature. It's technically like half a degree too hot, but... Hey, TSB. Happy Friday.
There's been chatter on the Resistance frequencies while you were off planting the ordnance. Resistance grenades have been malfunctioning. Would you know anything about that?
Toybox had an idea to limit civilian casualties. I went with it.
Civilian casualties are intentional. Both civilian and Resistance must fear the bombs. It's how we kill their morale. But besides that point, when you countermand my orders, Imperial troops need to be notified of any change. We now have to throw out every salvaged grenade in the mix because we don't know which ones are rigged to blow.
And?
Are we finished?
Be grateful for your Sith rank. For his part in this, Toybox is going to the stockade to receive lashes. You I cannot punish, but I would offer free advice. There are people on this planet who replace everyday items with explosives. Do not push them beyond reason.
You mean like you? You idiot. Also, canonically, we walk over and recruit Toybox to our crew. I'm just saying. That happens. Also, canonically, we kill him because he threatened us. And, yeah, hi, I'm the apprentice of Darth Zash. I don't know if you heard of her. It's okay, though. You don't have to worry about it because her name starts with Darth. So he's dead. We just killed him. And now we have a new engineer. And the funny part is, obviously, I'm doing that for what is effectively moral reasons. But I can completely justify that. If some other Sith says, hey, why'd you do that? I'll just be like, he's threatened me to my face. Stated outright that the only reason he wasn't going to torture or kill me was because of my rank. So... Zash is a Darth as of the halfway through the Droman, well, more like 3/4 of the way through the Droman Karas story arc.
Get down! The droid patrols will spot you. Apologies for shouting, my lord. But if they find one of us, they'll find all of us. I'm Lieutenant Rutar, 5th Infantry, 2nd Battalion, Besh Company. I'd say 1st Platoon, but there isn't one anymore.
Major Tyrus sent me to find your platoon. What happened?
A slaughter. We were on our way to upload viruses into the network of the Okara droid factory. A probe spotted us, and pretty soon battle droids had us surrounded. Droids aren't like people. They don't retreat. They don't accept surrender. They just keep exterminating. So now it's up to me.
You're wounded and alone. You're asking to get killed.
Pain is in the mind. This ankle looks bad, but it's not an essential bone. The mission is what matters. If I can ambush enough patrols of battle droids, I can upload my packets and run before my painkiller wears off. What else can I do? I'm not going to ask you to go where I wouldn't.
If you refuse assistance,
then your fate is your own.
If you're going to insist, I'll do just that. Good luck.
The dialogue option there, not what I said, of course, but the actual dialogue was, "You're an idiot, wait here." Idiot. Alright, so let's see here. What am I doing? Oh, is it these ones I have to do it on? I think it is. Long quest item use times. Oh, for God's sakes. What? Okay. Hang on, let me delete some questions here. Is it true consider... Whoa, my God, that's a bunch of stuff. Okay, it's not as much as it looked like. Is it true consider Palpatine and Sidious to be different people? You also said there's more than one version of Sidious. Why do you believe this? Ah, that's easy. So, Django just showed up, and he would argue strongly that there is no such thing as different writers who have different opinions on things. Everything is canon. All of it. 100%. No. No, for real, though. God, these quests. So, Palpatine... Okay, this is not just true with Palpatine, but it's easiest to track with Palpatine. Because there's Palpatine, that's from A New Hope. Then there's Palpatine from Empire Strikes Back, which is actually pretty similar to Palpatine from Return of the Jedi. Then there's the Palpatine of Dark Empire, the Palpatine of much of the early EU books. Then the Palpatine of the prequel series. Then there's the Palpatine that has been showcased as of the more recent stuff, most notably in the Rebels show, the Clone Wars show, and of course, the sequel trilogy. Now, if you're not understanding my point, the character has quite literally been changing as different writers jump around and give different inputs and different opinions on different shades of the same character. Hence why I say there are multiple Palpatines. Now, again, that's not exclusive to him, it's just really easy to track him. Because he literally wasn't even a Force user in his original iteration. In fact, he wasn't even the Emperor, he was the Chancellor. I'm sorry, let me say that more clearly. He wasn't even the leader of the Empire. There we go, that's how I'm going to phrase that. So, and yeah, Vader's the same thing, Luke's the same thing, you get my point. I mean, Vader wasn't Luke's father originally. In fact, Vader wasn't even... Well, let's not get into that. Yeah, no, Revan is also similar. So that's what I mean when I say that. Now, if you're wondering why I bothered to distinguish between Palpatine and Sidious, there are two reasons for that. One is to help keep that dividing line simple. While there are some aspects of the various Palpatines that are different, most of the Palpatines have enough similarity that I could point to them and say, that's Palpatine, right? But the moment they start tacking the word Sidious on top of that, yeah, thank God for that, Django, is the moment they kind of shifted him from being the Emperor and the villain and Palpatine into being just another Sith Lord. Now, whether that's good, bad, or in between is not relevant. It is a large and divisive shift in the character. Hence why I tend to distinguish the two. Sidious is the Sith Lord, Palpatine is Palpatine, the Emperor. Make sense? Oh yeah, and the second reason? Preference.
You're alive. And not only that, my comlink is picking up signals again. Is everything uploaded?
That network should be choking on malicious programs.
Now it's my turn. I'll aim our scanners at the Okara droid factory to measure the extent of the damage the virus has caused. If the computer core shuts the probes down, I can record how long a window that creates for future assaults.
I thought I was crazy.
Ha! No, scanning from here is no risk compared to what you just did. I'll find a secure spot and call a medical ship soon. I cannot express what your success will mean. Not to me, I'm nothing, but to the families of the men who died for this mission.
This guy is...
Soldiers did not fail their empire, nor did their empire fail them.
I'm not sure I agree with either of those sentences, but, you know, whatever. I'm here to judge. Wait, I am an Inquisitor. I am absolutely here to judge. Shoot. Valor. So anyways, so that's the Palpatine thing. Okay. That answered that. Which game have I already played that gave me the most difficulty to run? Space Marine. That was this year too. I've had trouble getting certain games running, but Space Marine was an absolute nightmare. And literally no matter what I did, it was problematic. Bonus points also go to Halo Wars 2 and Heroes of Might and Magic 5.
Lieutenant Ruta reported in. He says you completed the platoon's objective alone.
I hope you understand never to commit your troops like this again.
Ruta's men had a time-dependent mission, as did all other available units. Lack of reinforcements was an accepted risk. Our battalion may have been unable to assist the platoon at Akara, but I assure you they were not sitting idle. Auric and Kresh companies, and the remainder of Besh, simultaneously invaded rebel posts in Broken Valley. They found something.
I'm glad someone in this outfit succeeds on the first try.
Yes. We become good at deciphering the mess that Imperial intelligence sends our way. Our droids went through the rebel databanks and pulled out messages about them occupying a tunnel network we call Cave 52. The rebels are in Broken Valley, and they're moving in cargo. All indications are that this load is special.
What do you want me to do?
If our whole battalion comes knocking, they'll evacuate immediately. We'll need a small, fast attack to get inside Cave 52. The guerrillas know the tunnels quite well, so I suspect they have ambush points.
It doesn't matter where they hide. Their fate will be the same.
Good. Word will spread about the captured posts, so I would head to Broken Valley immediately. We'll have a surveillance officer monitoring K-52's largest entrance. His name is Trecht. When you've seen the cargo, report to him, and he'll contact me on a secure frequency. Go in strength.
So Mr. Red asks an interesting film history question. But before I answer it, hey, do you see this lightsaber I just got, Django? It's item level 38. This training weapon I have is item level 50. So...
Displaying all authorized...
I've never accused this game of having good itemization, okay? What do you want from me?
Travel route is confirmed.
Okay, hang on. I need more questions I can keep up with. Holy crap. Luke, I Am Your Father is, in my opinion, the first and most important... How do I phrase this? It was the first big twist that was done like that had major impact in cinema. Now, you're probably thinking, but there's twists before that. Indeed, I myself use It Was His Sled as shorthand for spoilers. But the thing is, anybody who's actually seen that film, especially when that film came out, knows that It Was His Sled wasn't a twist. It wasn't framed as a twist. It wasn't designed to be some big twist. In fact, it's actually kind of incidental to the point of the film in general. Right? Now, I'm not going to go into the details there. That's another thing. But the point is, yeah, that was just kind of built up to be a reveal, which was ultimately most of a side thing on top of the real story. And a lot of things were like that. There's been, big moments in film before. Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And those were treated as moments, as reveals, as constructions. But there wasn't really a big twist. At least not in a film that had large-scale appeal like Star Wars did until Empire Strikes Back came out. This is why it was so big. Because it was one of the first films of the scale that it was to do that kind of everything you know is wrong, which is a different framing than and then this happens. If that makes... I'm probably explaining this entirely wrong. That's because I'm apparently too stupid to do so. But that's why it was such a big damn deal. That's why it was this huge thing. It probably helps that they were very quiet about it leading up to it. As I've talked about before, most of the people involved in the working of the film didn't know that, and in fact, they actually wrote different dialogue for the scene. And most of the people on set actually heard the alternate dialogue. So when they were filming it, obviously they don't hear James Earl Jones when they're filming it. they hear, I forget who, it might have been Prowse, but they have someone else speaking those lines. The line that was given was, I killed your father. And that was intended to be exactly what these kind of moments usually are, a reveal. The kind of thing where it does this rather than, and it's just everything you know is wrong. It was Prowse, okay. I thought so, but I didn't want to say that without total certainty. Anyways, so Mark Hamill knew the real line. Lucas knew the real line, and I forget his name, the director knew the real line. And all of them were like, all right, Hamill, we need you to react to this. And they explained to him the significance of the moment and blah, 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 blah. And that's why Kirshner, thank you. That's why Hamill freaking loses it when he hears that. It's one of the greatest no's in history because Hamill absolutely killed it. And yeah, Hamill was also still working through the shock of the reveal, too, because he himself didn't know that until they were there getting ready. And by getting ready, I mean when they were on set, in uniform, in costume, ready to shoot, and then, okay. So, that's why it hits so hard, Mr. Ed. I know that's weird to think of nowadays, because nowadays big twists are banal, are normal. A huge number of fictions go for a big twist. To the point where they just don't hit the same way. But back then, nobody did that. At least not on that scale. Anyways.
Must have been imagining things, but I could have sworn I heard those generators go pop from here. Thank you, my lord. But it looks like the resistance isn't done yet.
You'd think the Empire would have an easier time with a ragtag bunch of resistance fighters.
Used to be we kept the resistance in check in the wilds, but now they've started to get bolder. They're attacking Imperial holdings in the old Balmoran industrial area. We need to punish their boldness. Lieutenant Thorpe at Markaran Outpost has some ideas about how to put the resistance back in their place.
Oh no, that's totally a twist, Justin. Absolutely. Like, no question. Why couldn't I have done that over a comm? Also, as much as I think that is one of legitimately the greatest big moments in cinema history, and I stand by that, I can still make fun of it, so here you go. Have fun.
At your service, my lord. Travel route is confirmed.
I agree that too much of media relies on twists. And that's kind of the thing. Twists can work. Of course they can. Especially if they're properly built up and properly paid off. But the problem is, and I feel like I've said this several times this week, because we've been talking about Tor, doing a good twist story is hard. It takes work. It takes time. It takes effort. And most people just want to have the twist. How many twists? Don't name any examples because I don't want unrelated spoilers. But how many twists can you think of off the top of your head, which your reaction was just basically, "That's it," or "Who cares?" Or even just complete confusion?
I hear your exploits with Lieutenant Davril went well. I hope you didn't find him crass, my lord. Unlike my esteemed colleague, I do not base my mission's success on the decibel level of the explosions. Breaking the spirits of a resistance movement is like cooking a fine meal.
I don't do dinner service.
Funny. The resistance has the people's backing. We must crush the spirits of the people to crush the resistance. No doubt Lieutenant Davril told you that they've brought in cyborg mercenaries from off-world, using an experimental new drop technology to land them on the planet. These cyborgs are killing our soldiers left and right.
I'd be more than happy to short out their circuits.
Delightful. I believe we can catch them by surprise at this location. But here's the key. I want to send the Balmoran people a clear message. We collect the technology the cyborgs use to drop onto Balmora and use it against them. Kill the cyborgs, collect the technology. What do you think?
I suppose it's not the worst plan I've heard.
I thought it was rather good myself. Bring me the cyborg technology, and I think the Balmoran people will get our message loud and clear.
So I'm sorry. I was just trying to jog my memory on video game, well, good twists in general. And I pulled up a list of some of the best twists in gaming. One of those listed was Super Mario Bros. 1. These are they. The twist is that she wasn't in the castle. She was in another castle. You don't understand, man. No. There is something about... Well, actually, there's 3 things about Super Mario Bros. That were legitimately mind-blowing and revolutionary and completely changed gaming forever, and none of them have to do with that. We've actually talked about that on stream when we streamed Mario Brothers. This whole list is stupid. One of the twists listed is the recent Bionic Commando game. I will, of course, not be sharing that twist here, but if you know it, you understand why I consider listing that twist as a good twist is bonkers. So I would say, Would You Kindly, Final Fantasy VII, and KOTOR 1 are 3 of my favorite twists. We actually talked about this during the KOTOR Run review. You know, it was kind of one of those things where several people are like, yeah, but I was like, no, I think this still stands up to this very day, my opinion.
Word has it, the former Balmoran Minister of Defense, Vol Argon, got wind of your work destroying the generators at Nibre Warehouse. He's furious. I can't wait to hear his reaction when we attack him with his own cyborg's gear. Perfect.
Please. You're embarrassing me. I hardly tried.
Then I can't wait to see what you do when you're at your best. To reach the Resistance's main base, we need to push through the Gorinth wilds. But the Resistance have repelled all Imperial offensives with guerrilla attacks from this untamed and largely uncharted area. A Balmoran defector, Cavil Aren, has agreed to help us clear out the wilds and carve a path to the Resistance's base. He's at the Gorinth Imperial outpost.
Okay, 2 other twists that were listed, which I massively disagree with them being good, are Star Ocean 3, if you know it, you know it, and Metroid Other M. Again, if you know it, you know it. Those are... What? It was Latario, very much so. Yeah, who wrote this list? Apparently Reddit. It's a Reddit compilation. Where are we going? Looks like over here. The FF7 twist. No, not that one. The FF7 twist, in my opinion, is actually one of the better moments in gaming history. Keeping in mind, I do not put FF7 up on a pedestal like most people. I still stand by that statement. One of the ones listed, by the way, was Spec Ops: The Line. I think you know my thoughts on that. Metal Gear Solid 2 is listed as one. Why 2? I mean, I know why 2, but... What? Where am I? Oh god, where am I? Let's see where I am. Holy crap, I've got to be right here. What was the twist in Spec Ops Line? The ending. At least KOTOR and Bioshock are listed here. Not sure I agree with Xenoblade 1, but that's whatever. Definitely don't agree with Shadow of the Colossus. Honestly, I would say Paper Mario? Wow. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon had a better twist than half the ones I've just listed.
My lord, my respects. How do you like Balmora so far? Doesn't seem like much, does it?
I know that's not saying much. Still true.
I thought this was an Imperial operation.
I thought the lieutenant would have told you. I'm Balmoran, but I'm also a businessman. Patriotism is bad for business. So is death, but only to a point. Resistance stealth troops have been infiltrating Imperial outposts, making quick strikes and leaving no trace. The Empire says they can't be beaten. I say they can.
What's so scary about them?
You don't see them until they kill you. That's what they say. But I built the tech they use to keep hidden. Their camp's in the Gorinth Wilds, but they've surrounded it with mines to keep strangers out. Watch your step, and you can use this device to detect the stealth fighters. They're fast, though. If I may offer advice, strike quick and hard.
Speaking of good twists, Prey, the recent one, the Bethesda one. Wait, I keep bringing me through this. Definitely not spoiling that one. Oh, I hate this quest. Yeah, the one I actually streamed last year, I want to say. This quest. Can't even target him yet. Ironically, Metal Gear Solid 1, I think, is a perfect example of the twist problem we were just talking about. Metal Gear Solid 1, if you don't remember, had a big twist in it. It was actually pretty well done, all things considered. And then every Metal Gear Solid game had to have a big twist, and so all of them did. And here we are. Some of those twists worked, some of them... Some of them. Anyways. Best way to break resistance in an occupation zone without devolving into oppression. Kill them all! No resistance, no problems. Oh, oh. I think we should depopulate Earth. It'll break all possible resistance from the Federation. Kingdom Hearts, let's not get into that. That's just whatever. What's funny is most of you probably don't even remember, but Kingdom Hearts 1 had a big twist in it. It's so minuscule and so minor that I wouldn't blame you for not even recognizing it as a twist, but it was intended and designed to be one originally. Let's get a bunch of Star Destroyers act and make every one of them have a planet-destroying weapon.
No more surprise attacks. Good. Captain Rigel is on Holo. He wants a word with you.
My lord, allow me to express my deepest pleasure at working with you. Operation Breaking Point has been far more successful than I ever could have imagined. Word is the former Balmoran Minister of Defense Vol'arjan might come down to Balmora. He's playing right into our hands.
What's the last mission?
Well, that's part of why I called. Now that the wilds are secured, we're ready for the final push. Colonel Vrain, head of the Imperial Conquest Consolidation Corps, has come to oversee the action. He's at the Sundari outpost, in striking distance of the Resistance's main base. It's now or never.
Yeah, someone actually asked me, relatively recently, probably in relation to this game we're streaming, would you please stop making fun of the sequel trilogy? To which I said, no. Anyways, I've got a bit of a question queue baked up. Let's see here. I've never played the Sins of a Solar Empire series, and how much do I know about it? So I actually did play Sins of a Solar Empire 1. I hated it. I couldn't get into it at all. I wanted to. I wanted to so badly. And it's just, everything about the game just shoved me out of it as hard as possible. interface, the specifics of building up and feedback and HUD, and the conflict and the way that it did battle, the whole thing just made me go, ugh! And I was just like, no, but it's so cool. Yeah, it was the Wasteland 2 problem. That's exactly right. I really wanted to like Sins of a Solar Empire. So, believe it or not, I actually am excited about Sins of a Solar Empire 2. I really hope that they, pull a Wasteland 3 on it. I know I came down hard on Wasteland 3, but that was still a fairly big net positive game. And much better than 2.
I'm here. What do you need, Amber Cavern? Hold on. How did you get in?
Your petty legions did not know the power of the Force. I educated them.
A Sith, eh? No one move. We might work this out. Listen, the people in that complex aren't of any consequence, and are certainly no threat to the Empire.
You're only making this more painful for yourself.
I'm telling the truth. They're Force sensitives, and the law on Imperial planets is all Force sensitives must be trained as Sith.
Hey, we mentioned that yesterday.
Don't train, you're executed as a potential threat. But not everyone would make it as a Sith. Some people discover their sensitivity when they're too old, or they just don't have the will. So they go into hiding with us.
What would you do with these washouts?
What would anyone do? We take them to Republic planets, get them a job farming dirt or making hyperdrives or whatever. But the Emperor keeps making laws that say they have to die.
If they are no threat, they have little to fear from me.
Are you serious? Your superiors would... Well, I won't tell them if you don't. Everyone in that cavern will have you to thank for their lives. We'll clear everyone out of the caves. It would be best if you could say you found nothing here.
Alright, now to horrifically murder all your troops. Oh, never mind. It's already been done. But first, lightning. I mean, honestly, what is best in life? No, I don't want the whole Conan quote. The answer is just one word. That word is... Damn it, no! Chocolate! What is best in life? Chocolate! You know, it's hard to actually argue with that, really. Alright, so what would I think of a Star Wars game where the main villain isn't a Sith Lord or like some big doom, but a political leader? Why the hell haven't we had that game yet? Why do we keep focusing on the Force users? God damn it! Hi. Look, for literal years, I think actually into the decades range at this point, I've been wanting more stories that focus on non-Force users, so I'm with it in general. It's one of the reasons I was so excited about Trooper when this was announced.
You're the crew Major Tyrus sent in, correct? Looks like most of you made it out. Major? Yes. Yes, your team has secured the tunnels. No, I contacted you immediately, sir. He wants to know if you made it in time.
K-52 has no cargo. They moved whatever it was before I entered.
Sir? We've got dust. Uh-huh. I'm certain, sir. He's cursing about Imperial intelligence again. You may want to sit down. This usually takes a while. Sir? Yes, sir. I'll pass the word on. He apologizes for the unnecessary danger. It looks like our battalion is going to be searching the other caves.
If Tyrus wants me again, tell him I'm busy with more important targets.
Understood. I should point out that it sounded like he thought highly of you, though. If every soldier we had risked their neck like you, this Empire would be a much different place.
Interesting comment. Now, the funny thing is, what Django said is, there's a chance it'll be a boring game like Trooper, is correct. The problem is, there's a chance it'll be a boring game like Jedi Knight, too. I mean, be honest. How many really good Star Wars games are there? And I'm not going to go down that wheel hole again. We've talked about that. So, what do I think... which do I think is the real him, Palpatine or Sidious? To be clear, my distinction between the two is an out-of-character distinction and not an in-character distinction. Within the AU, within current canon, there's absolutely no doubt that Sidious is considered to be the true persona, that Palpatine was always a lie. Shrug. Which Palpatine is my favorite? The one who isn't completely evil, to the point of being stupid. That would be the third one, if you're paying attention. Yeah, when Palpatine was actually smart, and not, you know, a Sith Lord. And trying to become God. It is what I consider to be the primary EU one. Not the fourth Palpatine, that's the Dark Empire one, which sits pretty much by itself. It could also be argued that the Dark Empire one doesn't count. I mean, Mara Jade, in canon, or excuse me, I shouldn't use the word canon, on camera, on paper, actually said that she didn't believe that the Dark Empire Palpatine was Palpatine, and honestly, I've heard plenty of people agreeing with her on that.
You... The old man sent you for me, didn't he? He must have gotten my distress signal. I guess he's good for something. He kept talking about some Sith he was working with. He didn't mention you were a filthy alien.
He didn't mention you were an insufferable fool.
Watch your tongue, scum. Now get me out of here!
Your father said you were after a very special item.
Figures he'd go blabbing about it. But I guess the damage is done. My master sent me here for a holocron the Republic dug up someplace or other. I got the holocron, now all I have to do is get out of this place.
What purpose does this object serve?
It's not the holocron itself that's special. The holocron's a map. It's supposed to point to a powerful weapon of the dark side that's hidden here on Balmora. The weapon's mine if I find it, which I will, now that you're here to free me.
Thank you for telling me all about this lovely new toy.
If you plan on taking that weapon, you're going to have to fight me first.
Okay. Alright, Bestiker. Your son was an insufferable idiot. Episode 5, Episode 6, most of the books, some of the games. That Palpatine, Latario. Most of the early books, I should clarify that. No, yeah, I'm gonna tell his dad's like, hey, Pops, your son was an idiot. And a traitor. He betrayed the Empire. It was awful. I can't believe he did it, but he definitely did. No need to question this. Anyways. What's the best and worst WoW Battlegrounds, in my opinion? So, the worst is easy. The first one is the worst, because they're still trying to figure out what a battleground even was, and they had no idea what they were doing. So the worst one is Wolfsong Gulch, excuse me, which is terrible. Just terrible. The only way they ever made that place tolerable was by adding a kill switch that means that a match can't last literally hours. That's it. I would have left him if the option was there, Kara, but it didn't give me the choice, so whatever. Alterac Valley. No, I would say Warsun Gulch is worse than AB, honestly. Now, the best one, I have to look up names, because it's one of the recent ones. The more recent the battleground, generally speaking, the better it is. You're going to give me a list of battlegrounds? You're going to give me a lot of information I don't care about. Ooh, hello. Where is this? What? Yeah. Take that. There we go. There we go. Hey, I killed your son. Bye. Alright, here we go. Here's the list. I would say Silver Shard Mines or Temple of Katmogu or Deepwind Gorge. Probably one of those three is the best. I can't narrow it down more than that, so I'm not even going to try. Hi, Walker. Oh, I have a further answer for you, Walker, if you give me a minute.
Stay back, Sith. I said stay back, and don't lay a hand on me. I know what you did. We had an agent in that outpost, and he reported everything. I told you you wouldn't get your serum if you didn't help. And you killed him!
You don't know who you're dealing with.
You're nothing but a cold-blooded murderer! You enjoyed killing him, didn't you? Didn't you?
I did what was necessary.
What was necessary? For what? Please, just tell me one thing. Why? Why did you have to kill him? We have hollow images of the cell. The controls were right there. You could have freed him. You would have gotten your serum. Why?
You know what's funny is none of these options are mine. So...
I wanted to see what kind of pattern his blood would make.
He didn't deserve this. He was a good boy. And I trusted you with his life.
Your son was a disciple of the dark side. He knew what that meant. And he certainly wasn't a good boy.
You evil, wretched, bloodthirsty... I'll kill you! I'll kill you! You'll never get your serum because I'll kill you!
Wait, what are you going to do again? Oh, it wasn't very clear. I do like hugs. Goodbye, Bessiker.
Whoa, whoa there, Sith. Calm down. I've got your serum right here. Now, maybe the Major deserved what he got. Who am I to say? But there's no reason to do anything rash.
Just give me my serum.
Look, I see where you're coming from. I do. You have big plans, and the Major got in your way. Fine. So please don't take it the wrong way when I tell you. This plan of yours is completely insane.
The more insane the plan, the better.
Look, go ahead, take the serum. Take it. I made it just like this datapad specified. You're probably on the right track. The serum should give you resistance to the stuff in the blown-out vault. But there's also a good chance the serum will kill you. I mean, it was designed for colicoids, not humans.
I'll consider myself warned.
All right, fine.
Time to become a super soldier Sith.
Here you go. It's only a limited number of doses, and like I said, I'd use it sparingly if I were you. You'll have to fight past the main Republic base to get to the vault, but seriously, whatever the Republic throws at you, the Colicoids will be worse.
As promised. You may have your freedom, Doctor. Thank you.
What? You're not serious? I mean, you're Sith. You can't be serious. You'll let me go back to the Republic?
I killed that guy because he attacked me. You've done nothing but help me.
You're making me have second thoughts.
Look, you'll know I'll never make it out alive. So if you're serious, you'll authorize a shuttle for me out of here.
I assure you, no tricks.
Just let me get the transport officer on the holo here. There we go.
Dr. Tyrek, Sith, Captain Rollo at your service. What can I do for you?
What's really funny is at this point you can betray him, and it's so much worse.
I'm authorizing a shuttle for the good doctor.
Yes, right away.
Thank you, my lord. You're a strange sort of Sith, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I like people to actually work for me.
I want to come over to the other side.
Yeah, sorry. I want power.
I don't think I'm ready to go that far.
Yes, my lord. Of course.
And in headcanon, we reach out to him later to try and recruit him after he sees just how bad the Republic's gotten. Because what are his memories going to be? The Sith who was straight with him pretty much consistently, and a Republic who's going to jerk him around, whoever knows and however knows much. I mean, think about it.
Travel route is
Let's see here. Since Star Wars is set in a galaxy far, far away, do you think Earth exists in the universe? No. What on earth would he do if you went back on your word? Die. How would the G1 transfer... Oh, I already answered that one. I already answered that one. Oh, Latario asked an interesting question. Why'd you put an executive veto on Catherine? So I've actually played Catherine. I don't know if you know that. And, no. Now, if you are not familiar with Catherine, I could try to explain why, but yeah. Anyways, I already answered that question. Do I think when raising Galen, Vader saw him as the son he never had? No. Yeah, I do love platformers, which that's a game with platforms in it, right? That's how that's defined, right? Yeah, no, it's pretty clear in Force Unleashed that Vader only ever saw Galen as a tool. Nothing more. If you like puzzle games, Catherine's probably a decent thing for your wheelhouse. I, as you might imagine, am not a big puzzle person.
You're one of the Sith, aren't you? Please, I need someone with high security clearance for a vital retrieval mission. The Republic raided one of our research posts. A ship escaped with stolen plans for a brand new walker design. Luckily, our gunners just brought the ship down. I need someone trustworthy, to check the crash site and retrieve those plans.
What's in it for me?
Intelligence is providing a reward for the plan's recovery. This is the route to the crash site. Oh, if there are any survivors, kill on site. Take the plans to Agent Nianla. She'll get them to safety. Thanks. It was a stroke of luck meeting you.
So, J. Palmer says, would I rather have that doctor we just let go, or Dr. Loken? I'm pretty sure I'd rather have an unopened egg over Dr. Loken, so I think I'd go with that doctor.
Good day. Watcher 8, Imperial Intelligence. I've heard of your successes. I need a team that's capable and discreet. Agent Veld, my top field operative, has failed to check in. Instead, I received some garbled distress signal. I will not abandon Agent Veld. I need him found.
Knowing Agent Veld's task could be the key to finding him.
I can't risk exposing the details of a field agent's mission. I can give you Agent Veld's last known position near the Republic's main landing field, but the rest would be up to you.
I suppose I can lower myself to do this.
Glad to hear it. His distress signal was sent from these coordinates. I'll send him an alert to watch for you, but it may not get through. Good luck.
Nope.
Hold up. You're the group that cut a path from...
I didn't mean to start that without pillars. Let's try that again.
Hold up.
There we go.
You're the group that cut a path from Sobrik, right? Got orders from the planetary governor to find you. You're needed at this war conference, Priority Alpha 1.
A war conference is still a conference. Maybe you don't know who I am.
Just what the HoloNet gossip says, but you'll be paid for your time. The Dark Council sent an emissary, big-time Sith Lord, to personally review the status of the Balmoran occupation. This conference will determine the next stage of the ground campaign. Whole war's about to be decided, and the governor wants your expertise.
This emissary of the Dark Council, what do we know about him?
Sith politics aren't my business. One of Darth Mar's servants is what I hear, but don't know anything else. Assigning black level clearance. No one will cause you trouble. Be quick, though. They're starting any minute.
Well, okay, I guess. Ugh. Pretty sure this is Lacris, excuse me. Who we've already killed in the future. Spoilers.
Today, the Balmoran resistance, backed by the government in exile, takes its last pitiful gasp. We have you to thank. It won't be long before the corpse of former Defense Minister Vol'argan is cold in the ground.
Has the former Defense Minister come to Balmora?
That's the rumor, but either way, if Operation Breaking Point succeeds, his death is only a matter of time. The Resistance, aided by the Republic, has made its headquarters in the Balmoran Arms Factory. It is a heavily fortified facility, but it's not invulnerable. Not with such powerful patriots as yourselves on our side.
I'm pleased that you have such confidence in me.
If we may impose on you for one final task in service of the glorious Empire, we need you to break into the factory, shut off its power, and use the period of panic to shut down security. Once this is done, the main attack force can sweep in and wipe out the Resistance. And if you see Vol'argan, kill him.
I guess.
This will be like terrorizing children.
Perhaps, but I wouldn't go in too overconfident. Word is the Resistance at the factory have the Republic's backing. They'll be well-equipped and well-trained. For anyone else, this would be a suicide mission. I wouldn't consider it, but I have a good feeling about you.
Thanks. I think. Speaking of.
Do you know the worst part, Governor?
I didn't. I didn't.
Exactly. You didn't even own up to your mistakes. That's why the Dark Council gave this planet to me.
Please.
Watch and enjoy. I am Darth Lacris, and I'm here to cleanse Balmora. They say you're the best bounty hunter. You're wasted working for those incompetents in Sobrik.
They may be incompetent, but the work pays dividends.
I'm sure it does. You're all here because I asked the governor to bring me his best. Balmora has a problem.
My friends in the Resistance, I won't take much time.
The Empire says it owns Balmora. The Republic says it's yours. We're gone. But you and I know Balmora's won with sweat and tears, and my boys will stand by your side until everyone knows it.
Grand Marshal Jaquetta, formerly of the Republic Army. Officially, he and his troops went rogue after the Republic withdrew from this sector. Ever since, they've been holed up under siege, aiding the resistance and fortifying their position. You may have met their scouting parties already.
Is there anyone on Balmora who isn't fighting the Empire?
Now you understand my displeasure with the previous administration. Jaquetta and the Resistance are based in the Balmoran Arms Factory, home of the brightest engineers in the galaxy. I'm told the factory's generators are inexhaustible, its defenses cutting edge, its barricades block our scans, giving the Resistance peace and privacy.
What makes you think I care?
Have I been too friendly? You're here to serve. Jaquetta may have officially gone rogue, but the Republic still supports him. They fund his revolution from the shadows, make supply drops in secret. Those Republic hypocrites want the arms factory as a beachhead, and as Balmora's new governor, I say we take it before they mount a full invasion.
I can handle the assault. How much cash is in the treasury?
Whatever hasn't been squandered or embezzled is yours. Obliterate the
$5.
factory defenses. Lower the barricades that block our scans, and I'll have an army at your back. And if you can, bring me proof of Republic involvement on Balmora. We'll expose their lies on a galactic stage.
This is going to lead to one of my favorite light side choices, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yes, the song you're currently listening to is actually StarCraft. 7381. StarCraft just fits Balmora weirdly well. What can I say? Do I think there's more to Sandal from Dragon Age than meets the eye? Truthfully, no. And in fact, if I ever do a Dragon Age rewrite, there will be nothing new to Sandal. He's just kind of there. He's cute, and he's a gimmick, and he's a running gag, but I wouldn't do anything real with him. How often do you think Imperials try to get rid of Sith because they annoy them by sending them to assist in suicide missions? All the time. Especially if they're Imperial intelligence. Besides the Terran Dominion, what are some of the other notable Terran factions, and what were they doing during StarCraft 2? I actually don't remember their names. Hang on. StarCraft Terran factions. I don't remember their names. There's the... and then there's the Kelmorean Combine. I remember the Combine, because I actually had a whole fan story written about them at one point. I was rather proud of that. Let's see, we've got the UFD, which then turned into the UED.
But I tire of repeating myself. Where are the Resistance leaders hiding?
Go back to Drummond Toss, where you belong.
What is their name? It's not even listing it. What the hell? Whoop. So, Kel and Moria, there's actually a whole story about them. I thought it was pretty cool. Kel and Moria are two separate planets that... Hang on, let's rewind a second. So, early Terran history is all about the history of the planets and how they interacted with each other and all that based on how they settled and which resources they could claim and blah, 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 blah. So, it was most common that planets would be structured as the power, right? You wouldn't have the Terran Dominion. You'd have Earth or Mars fighting Venus, who is also allied with Jupiter, and so forth and so on. I know that's a terrible example, but I think you at least get the idea. So, Kel and Moria fought for a while, but actually ended up unifying, and that was why they became so significant, especially since they were primarily a mercantile power. Oh, sure, they had military. They had to. The Caprula sector is a terrifyingly dangerous place to exist in. And, of course, the Terrans were over there causing their own problems. Excuse me, when I say the Terrans, I mean the Confederacy. Which I can't remember their original name right now. Hang on. Oh, yeah, the Emotion Protectorate. There's another one. I knew there was another one. Let's see here. Tarsonis, that was it. They were just Tarsonis until the Guild Wars really got going. Because that was the planet they were on. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So the Kelmoreans are interesting to me primarily because their whole focus was not being the Confederacy and fighting stringently and constantly against them. And in fact, the Kelmoreans managed to hold the Confederacy back militarily, consistently. Now you're probably thinking, well, hold on, the Confederacy did dominate the Kripulu sector by the end, and you're right, the Confederacy won the Guild Wars. But the reason why isn't because they beat the Kelmoreans militarily, it's because they beat them economically. Hey, Rama. So, what ended up happening is they were grinding down the Kelmoreans. I'm skipping over a lot of the details. I talked about this in the StarCraft lore run. But the long and the short of it is they were like, alright, look. We'll give you your 2 planets, and you will nominally become part of the Confederacy, but you'll still be considered your own power. So basically all you have to do is kick back some money to us periodically, and that's all that actually has to happen, and we'll leave you alone. The Kelmoreans said, done. And so the Kelmoreans effectively shoved the Confederacy to a standstill and then got bought out to be left alone, which is great. I love it. Meanwhile, the Emotions, they didn't have the advantages the Kelmoreans had. I should probably mention that the Kelmoreans were the richest Terrans in the Kripulu sector. The reason I say past tense is they burned through a lot of that wealth during the Guild Wars.
From the look of you, I don't need to ask if you can handle a gun. Interested in some target practice? Simple. Big reward from upstairs and the targets aren't even moving. The Republic scattered gun turrets along the defensive line, and my forces can't break through.
Did you just say my favorite word?
I can be generous when my men's lives are at stake. Hit the turrets with everything you've got. I'll contact you when there's a breach we can get through. Good hunting!
Ugh. Excuse me, good lord. Well, I'll tell you exactly what the Kelmoreans were doing. They're being forgotten by most of the writers.
These are the stolen walker plans, I take it. So, Lieutenant Quisoon finally did something right by choosing you. Imperial Intelligence appreciates your hard work. I'll personally ensure these plans are secured. Congratulations.
To be 100% clear, they actually reference the Kelmorean Combine several times in StarCraft 2. But when I say reference, I mean it. I don't mean, like, background story arc. I mean, hey, remember these guys? Like, they'll show up in a news. You know how in StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, you pop into the bar and there's, like, a news feed thing going occasionally? Like, every now and again, they'd be mentioned there. That's about as far as that ever went. No, that's actually an emotion base, Lolamlas. The Emotions, ironically, had more to do with StarCraft 2 than the Kelmoreans. Which I say ironic because the Emotions had nothing to do with anything back in StarCraft 1. The Emotion Protectorate, of course, who we're from. Moja. Actually, yeah, Warcraft. That's a good way to put that. What are the Emotions like? So, the Emotions were the... What do I call this? So... Let's rewind a second here. Let's get a little historical context. There's 3 factions in StarCraft, right? Of course there are. There's the advanced group, there's the economic superpower, and then there's the one who swarms with sheer numbers. That would be the Emotions, the Combine, and the Confederacy. Now, obviously they decided to bring some aliens in on that very early on in development. I've actually shown screenshots of the Zerg being showcased in the original engine. But it's very obvious that the writers, and they've talked about this a couple times, were actually thinking about just making the 3 factions Terran-focused originally, rather than what they eventually did. artillery droids. Artillery droids. There's one. No, the emojis, not the emojis. Very different group of people. Nobody likes the emojis. Well, the economic group was the Kelmoreans. They were the ones with resources. And you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean in an RTS? Well, it means they have more capacity to... It means they're more adaptable. Let me just strike that all the way down to one word. They can do more. It's like the Japanese over in Red Alert 3, for example. That's your economic superpower in an RTS. I know this sounds like a really, really minor thing, but keep in mind that the ability to move your base is actually quite a bit of a game changer in an RTS. And that's what the Terrans had. So. Yeah, let's go turn in first. Might be a follow-up. Also True Act. Which is, ironically, also kind of an economic thing, but that's unrelated. So, the Emotions were the tech people. Sorry, I knew I was going somewhere with that. The Emotions were the tech people. Their big focus was on being substantially more advanced than everyone else. In fact, even as of StarCraft 2, the most references they tend to get is their significance in how they are pushing forward Dominion tech.
Knew I could count on you. My forces will make it through. Great work.
And again, we actually get an insight into how the Emotions look and operate, because not only are there Emotion cosmetics, like some of the mercenaries you can get are Emotions, so you can see what their units look like, but also the base at the very, very beginning, during the tutorial of the Heart of the Swarm campaign, that is an Emotion base. And you can tell they go out of their way to make the place look, you know, pristine, high-tech, prequel era, etc., etc. So anyways, one of my favorite intro opening music in games. Well, FF6 is at the very top, obviously. After that... To Xanarkand would absolutely count. So that would be FF10. I'm trying not to pick too many FFs because several FFs have really good opening music. Because they're FFs. I made it. Yay! Like, seriously. FF4. FF5. FF6. FF7. FF8. FF10. FF12. So, like I said, I'm trying not to pick too many FFs. All of those have excellent intro music. I was also going to specifically mention Red Alert 2. Hell March is its own thing, but the one from 2 is my personal favorite.
Go. No, wait. Watcher 8 alerted me about you. My mission's been compromised and I need your help. I need to gather clearance code cylinders from Republic officials around the landing field. Sadly, prying the cylinders from their bodies will be necessary. I've already identified the targets. I need you to handle them and take the code cylinders back to Watcher 8.
Dangerous jobs are my specialty. I'm in.
They won't get away with the trouble they've caused me either. When you have the cylinders, plant some explosive charges on the ships on the ground. I need a distraction for the critical stage of my recon.
Now comes the fun part.
These should be enough charges. I know Watcher 8 trusted your skills, but be careful.
Yeah, that would probably drive me nuts. So, I'm going to ask you a question before we move forward, Rama. Is that on the list? If it isn't, well, then we need to clarify which game you're talking about, because it sounds like you're talking about one of the old Call of Duties. The old, terrible, awful, no good, very bad Call of Duties. Well, let's clarify. Inquisitors live. That's part of level scaling. Pretty definitively. Before we have our huge discussion on how Call of Duty 3 is the worst game ever made in the history of the ever, thank you for the bit. Got that down really quick here. Okay. Anyways, do I think a full Darkside Inquisitor is legitimately not in the right of mind? Yes, I actually do think that a full Darkside Inquisitor is someone who has completely mentally cracked. I think that a full Darkside Inquisitor is someone who would have trouble functioning in normal, real, everyday life. Never mind in something like, you know, the Sith Empire, where mental health care means get angry until you feel better. Did that not count? Whatever. Oh, that counted. Okay, cool. Bad tracker. We need to get those negatives to that tracker at some point, too. Call of Duty 3 predates Modern Warfare 3 because Modern Warfare 3 is Call of Duty 7. Okay, that's a turn-in. That's a turn-in. Well, you know the rules. Yeah, 5 is World at War. 4 is Modern Warfare 1. 6 is Modern Warfare 2. And unless there's something else in the middle there, which there might be, 7 would be Modern Warfare 3. Well, okay. I don't remember when Blops came out. Hence why I just said, oh. Either way, Modern Warfare 3 is at least 7, because that's the minimum it can be. Ironically, that's actually how I've been playing my Inquisitor. My Inquisitor is not actually crazy. She's the Joker from the Nolan movies. AKA very sane, but putting on an act because it destabilizes everyone around her. Nobody questions if you see a Sith go, meh. But if they saw a Sith doing things I'm actually doing...
Grand Marshal Chiquetta to our personnel. Last night was a hell of a fight. Outnumbered 10 to 1, and we still beat back the imps. Victory's coming, boys. Keep this up, and we can all go home.
Victory is coming, but it won't come until Act 2. Sorry, buddy.
This place isn't a factory, it's a fortress. I don't think the Balmoran freedom fighters could maintain a stronghold like this without outside help.
Yeah, all you have to do is get the Sister of Tukuvma on your side, and you'll be good. She'll show up and be like, hey, I'm the Supreme Commander of everything now. That player's name is I think there's no vowels in that entire name. Anyways. There's one. Infinite Warfare? Is that the one in space or the one in the future? I know that sounds not mutually exclusive, but those are two different COD games. Space. I liked Infinite Warfare. I know I'm the only person in the universe who did because everyone panned it, but no, Infinite Warfare was legit. It did have a couple of moments that were extremely stupid, but, you know, shrug. So, what's your backup, Rama? Because I'm not even sure I can get Call of Duty 3 running. I certainly don't own it, so it means I'm going to have to go buy it. Yeah, it came out right alongside one of the Titanfalls, I forget which, and Battlefield 1. So that was just the worst frickin' time to release that. Absolutely terrible. While we're standing here. She already answered that. Oh, sorry, Latario. I never finished answering your question about Catherine. Is this thing going to respawn? Okay, hang on. Let's see if we can find another one. So, Catherine, right? So, first of all, I don't care for the gameplay. Let me just start with that. Let me just lay that out there and be done with it. But there's an aspect of the story I actually hate. Not dislike, despise. And I know what you're thinking, and no, it's not whatever you're thinking.
This is Grand Marshal Chiquetta. I've been hearing grumbling lately. People saying the Republic abandoned Balmora. Well, I may not be Republic Army anymore, but I'm still a patriot. So don't say it to my face. The treaty may not have left us much choice, but the people of the Republic are still behind you.
It's Vincent. Vincent is such a weirdly despicable person, and we're forced to play as him, and no matter how you play as him, he's still a despicable person. And I don't mean despicable like playing a Sith Inquisitor who tortures and kills. That's whatever. Who cares about that? I mean, he's just a slime ball. I can't even put it. I can't even put it. He's so terrible. But what makes it worse isn't just the fact that you're playing a slime ball. It's the fact that the game constantly tries to portray him as, like, the victim, or that things are okay if he is horrific. You know what I mean, right? Like, it's one thing to portray a slime ball and say, this character sucks. But if you portray a slime ball and say, this is normal or acceptable, well, then that just becomes irritating, doesn't it? Catherine, Dr. Winter. I love this quest. Let me tell you, this is my favorite quest on the Citadel, right here. Up top is just those two. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Zephyr Breeze. Like, well... So that's the reason why I'm vetoing Catherine. Honestly, I don't even want to deal with it. And that's the reason. That's why it's a veto. I can get it, I can play it, I actually own it. For a while there I owned 2 copies. Funny story. But screw that game. No offense to anybody who likes it. What's the best thing he does in that game? One of the endings can have you take over hell. Sort of. I'm speaking vaguely to avoid spoilers, but, you know. Anyways. What do I rank higher? Modern Warfare 1? Modern Warfare 2? So, I haven't reviewed either game, so the answer is, of course, I have no idea. However, if you start beating me up and shooting me in the face and all those horrible things you do to me, I would say 2. 1 certainly has better moments, and it does. But 2 was just a better constructed game top to bottom. Hey, the robot finally respawned. 2 also still has good moments, but I think 2 has... I'm going to say this strangely, a more interesting plot. It's not a better plot, because it actually has colossal... and it has plot holes in it that you could drive a submarine through. But I still find the plot substantially more engaging. Like, it's hard for me to even name my favorite story beat in Modern Warfare 2.
I want to talk about sacrifice. My troops and I gave up our homes in the Republic. But the rest of you weren't given a choice. Your planet was taken from you. You're giving up everything to get it back. That's the real deal.
I'll go ahead and mention one of my favorite moments. It's one of the mission briefings. Which... Hang on. I can't describe it, so let me just make it very clear. One second. This one. How many of you have heard this sound in real life? That is Modern Warfare 2 in one tight little bundle right there. I am blown away. That still gives me chills. That is the emergency broadcast system here in the United States. It overrides every channel, and it plays that sound to make it very, very clear that this is something you are supposed to listen to. That's one of the briefings for Modern Warfare 2, is the emergency broadcast system. Head immediately to your nearest emergency service shelter. Troops will be there to meet you. Bring a photo ID and no more than one baggage item per person. Be aware of your surroundings. Remain alert. God, that's actually hitting me even right now. Jesus Christ. It is horrifically unsettling in such a beautiful way. It's one of the best scenes in the whole friggin' game. But again, it's only one of them, and there's so many of them. How about the scene where you see the Washington Monument, which I speak vaguely again? No, that would be a horrifically terrible idea, Warcore. All that's going to do is cause a panic. Okay. Do this. No, yeah, it's so yeah, I think I'm going to stand by my earlier statement. I'm going to put Modern Warfare 2 above Modern Warfare 1. It is damned good. And that's on top of the fact that the gameplay is just kind of better. Modern Warfare 1 didn't exactly have bad gameplay, but at the same time, it relied on a lot of old FPS concepts, and not all of them have aged particularly well. Modern Warfare 1, for example, heavily used monster closets. I've actually talked about that when we did the lore run of it. Also, a lot of the stage design is extraordinarily limiting. And just, you know, other little problems here and there. All I'm going to say, though, is it's no wonder that the team that made Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2 would go on to make things like, I don't know, Titanfall. A monster closet. Okay. So let's say, here, let me see if I can actually make one happen for you right in front of you, because we've actually already seen it happen. Nope, this didn't do it. I think this is already plenty here. Let's try these. Literally, a monster closet situation happened just a few minutes ago. I wish I'd realized I was going to be talking about it, because I could have pointed it out for you. Unfortunately, I think it was tied to the quest, so I don't think I can do that. A monster closet is a concept, so there's a lot of different ways to do it, but what it boils down to is there's a spawn node where monsters will pop out. Now, that's actually not quite the definition of a monster closet, because most games have spawn nodes. The point of a monster closet is to either surprise the player, direct the player, or trick the player. So, For example, let's say that, and we've actually seen this in Tor several times. I know it's part of the scaling, doesn't matter. Where you see one enemy or two enemies, and then you aggro them, and the moment you aggro them, a whole bunch of other enemies just pop out of nowhere, and are like, "Bwong! We're here! We weren't here 5 seconds ago, but we're here now." And they join the fight. That's a monster closet. Yeah, the monster house in PMD is similar. In Modern Warfare 1 specifically, what they would do was the developers wanted you to be moving through the stage. So they would spawn monsters.
Darth Lacris, can you read me? Sorry. I'm lowering the barricades to the Balmoran arms factory.
I hear you perfectly. We'll start scanning the interior now. Hold on. Someone cut through this interference.
Pardon my interruption. I'm Grand Marshal Chiquetta, formerly of the Republic Army.
So, you're the proud leader of these gutless wonders.
If they're so gutless, why haven't you beaten them after all these years? I'm not a complete fool. Once I realized you planned to lower our defenses, I sent a few friends.
Jedi Knight Raylon Nis, reporting.
Tempest Squad, reporting.
Fresh volunteers who have taken a leave of absence to join the Balmoran resistance. Taste of what's coming.
You've sent these people to their deaths.
If that's true, I'll shed a tear.
Go! Go!
Yeah, really? Okay. But yeah, you get the idea. Now the problem is, monster closets almost always involve the developer cheating. And that can work, but generally speaking, the best a monster closet can be is inoffensive, not good.
Can you hear me? This channel is still open. Did Chiquetta send a Jedi?
Along with the Special Forces team, he claimed they weren't with the Republic.
I'm sure he did. My people are performing a full scan of the factory now that the defenses are down. I'll patch you into the report.
My lord, we're detecting unusual signals from inside the factory. What appears to be a hyperspace beacon. It shouldn't be possible. It must have taken them decades.
Don't underestimate their engineers or their resources. What can you do?
In theory, starships could follow the beacon and jump-in system almost directly overhead.
The Republic is flying reinforcements straight to the Balmoran arms factory and bypassing our defenses.
You know where to look. Scan for enemy transports approaching the factory.
Picking up. There are dozens of ships out there. Silhouette is Republic Special Forces, Triumph class.
This is how they did it during the war. Multiple strike teams, strategic objectives, 1 Jedi per military squad. They took entire planets. They know we see them. They're rushing to land now.
If they're heading to the factory, we can stop them from the ground.
Agreed. Take out the landing platforms and guidance systems. I'll have attack squadrons blow those ships out of the sky. Fail me now, and we perish with Balmora.
I do like the idea of perishing, but I don't know. And yeah, let's not even get into how that's extremely not how hyperspace works. That's okay, it's okay, you can ram someone while going to lightspeed. Anyways, of the old gods in World of Warcraft, which do you think is the most dangerous? So, it could be argued that Yasharaj was the most dangerous, but we have very little information to gauge that on, so let's just remove him from consideration whatsoever. Let's focus on the ones that survived that. Of those, the answer is easily N'Zoth. The weakest, with the smallest amount of personal power, and the one who was by far the most responsible for the most events across the history of the setting. N'Zoth was weak, but a schemer. And he knew what he was doing. What did N'Zoth represent? He was, no, that doesn't make sense. Hang on. I know he was corruption, if that's what you're asking. No, it does. He was the brain. Hey! Sorry, the reason I was kind of tilting on that is because...
Darth Lacras. Our ships are closing on the Republic transports. Keep destroying those landing pads, and there will be no escape for the enemy.
Is because each of the old gods is usually centered around a specific body part. Cthulhu is eye, Yogg-Saron is mouth, Yasharaj was the heads, and of course N'Zoth is the brain. I mean, No, Logue. I mean, both of them are kind of schemers, but that's about as far as that goes. You could argue that Azura has more to do with N'Zoth than Hermaeus Mora. There we go. Oh, hang on. Hermaeus Mora. Click. There we go. When we encountered during the Frozen Throne. You know, what's funny is I don't think they've ever properly retconned that as well as it should be, but we do know that the one in Frozen Throne was just a piece of... Oh, am I healing? Of, Yogg-Saron. Oh yeah, I wasn't mentioning Gahoon because he's an artificially crafted one. He actually does have an aspect, though. Rot. Well, I've only given it 3 negatives so far, Django, because it sucks balls. Any questions? Speaking of which, let's finally give those negatives out for the tracker. So, the quest tracker. This is actually kind of a combination map/tracker issue.
Attack squadrons engaged. We're down 6 Republic transports. I'm calling in additional ground-to-air weaponry.
Negatives 14, 15... Oh, excuse me. Just 14 and 15. Let's go ahead and push that up to 3 negatives. There we go. 3 negatives. Done. In all honesty, it was originally 2 negatives, but...
Only a few targets remain airborne, and they've got nowhere to go. But one transport slipped past us. I'm sending in ground troops. You intercept that ship at the factory's upper landing pad. No one survives this attack.
But that was like a week and a half ago. The problem is Tor syndrome has been getting very bad. And it's not just the fact that it's sometimes it misleads you. It's even worse than that, because in several cases, it's really inconsistent about the specifics, right? You think you're picking something, and the dialogue you're picking very clearly indicates a tone. And let's be honest with ourselves, really. Other than big choices, the tone is really the point of this kind of... my thing is over here. The tone is really the point of this kind of gameplay, choices gameplay. You don't decide how the story goes, you decide your role in it, right? But if you screw up the tone, well... Fallout 4 kind of had Tor syndrome, but it also had another problem, which is much, much worse. It had... You don't actually have any dialogue options. Now, I've seen people joke about this and meme about this, but the reality is that you would have 3 or 4 dialogue options, which are, I agree. I agree, but in a sarcastic way. I agree, but want more information, or no. No just reverts you, or ends the dialogue, and then you have to start the dialogue over again. And hate newspaper, gotta have hate newspapers. Yeah, it's not really a meme. You really don't have dialogue options in Fallout 4. Not even in the flavor manner that I was just referencing for this game, or, you know, most BioWare games. Actually, all 4 of the dialogue options lead to another settlement. That needs your help. All of them.
The fleet may be lost, but my Padawan and I can hold the Imperials while you regroup.
No. You've got your ship, we've got a few of our own. I want you to get the non-combatants and the wounded off Balmora.
Aye.
After we handle this. You're damn tough, you know that?
Thanks.
If we'd tried talking from the beginning, we might not be in this mess.
Anything's possible, I suppose. I've got Jedi at my back and the finest armor Balmoran arms ever designed. Ignore the scratches.
We can cover your escape.
Nah. Let's see what an old man can do for his troops.
You can die. Would you like to die for your troops? I can make your wishes come true. Honestly, I'm not expecting really anything from the story of Starfield. That being said, I'm expecting a lot from the gameplay of Starfield. Why am I literally not doing any damage to this guy? Hey, there we go.
Good fight. You've got, well, you've got something I don't have anymore.
I've got instincts you'll never have.
Maybe so. Hear me out. I know how much the Empire wants to expose the Republic's involvement in Balmora publicly. I confess the truth of the invasion, if you help my men.
Talk. And make it good.
Let the Balmorans and the non-combatants leave. Treat the Republic soldiers fairly, as prisoners of war. Help them, and I'll tell everyone we violated the treaty.
And one of my favorite light side choices in the entire game. Sure.
You're in no position to strike a deal.
Oh.
Damn it. That's everything you could want. Why?
You know, I've actually never killed this guy. I'm just gonna let this one ride out.
You and your men, every resistance fighter on this planet, must be punished.
This won't last forever. Your empire won't last. I swear.
It's true.
Sir, Squad 815, Darth Lacra sent us to reinforce your position.
Take the Grand Marshal into custody. We're done for now.
Understood. There's fighting all over the factory, but it looks like a victory. Orders are to regroup at the outpost when you can, sir.
No, it's just because I've never really seen the benefit of killing him. I mean, why bother? Having my opponent willingly give me everything I want and need is just too useful for too many reasons. So how big are the armies of the Republic and the Sith here? Well, knowing Star Wars terms, it's probably about 5,000 people. But I have no idea. Yep, it's time to hit the pit. I was actually just about to ask if you were there, Mike Romano. Mr. Red had a question I'm debating. Mr. Red asked about the twist about Vader earlier. Do you think that that twist had a net negative impact on filmmaking for the sheer nature of how it affected the usages of twists in cinema, or do you think the positives we got outweigh the negative? That's an interesting question. So, let's look at it dispassionately and mathematically. Yes, that twist is a net negative to filmmaking. Why? Because by sheer math, we can showcase that a huge number of terrible story arcs and plots have been done as a direct resultant of that particular twist and its popularization of that concept. But the problem is, I feel like that's a bit of a dismissive and... I don't know. Like... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel it's doing justice to the nuance of the situation. Because the exact same sentence could be restructured a little bit, and it would still be just as true. And I quote. Right, here we go. I love this. You can just stand on the shield entry here, and I won't let you in, because, you know, you have to use the thing first. Reductive, that's a good word. Because the exact same thing could be said about another game, or rather, another thing. Doom. You could say very easily that the original Doom is responsible for a huge amount of bad game design over the course of literal decades. And that is a true statement. Mathematically speaking, that is an accurate point to make. But how much of that is really the fault of Dune and how much of that matters? I actually am not fond of that either, Macalana. Okay, so down, down, down. Still running on the edge for the moment. Hang on, something just burrowed. Exactly, Mr. Red. And let's be clear, too, we also probably got a huge amount of positive things out of Empire Strikes Back. We should also probably mention that if Empire Strikes Back didn't do it, someone else would have. We don't know who or how, because that's nonsense. That's just pure speculative. But someone somewhere would have sat down and say, I've got an idea! And someone would have made another big twist, and it would have this big impact on culture, and then everyone would ape it, and bullet point syndrome, and yada yada. Gross. Hey, really? Oh my god, die. Stop despawning. I used to hate this fight. I mean, I still do. It's just... it's no longer, you know, gonna kill me.
Sith. I mean, my lord. I mean, Major Illan here, sir.
Got a promotion, huh?
Yes, thank you. Got Major Bessig's old job. Yes, as the new resources officer here on Balmora, I just wanted to apologize for the behavior of the late Major Bessica. His son's mission was not a military matter, and the Major had no right to demand your valuable time in that way.
It's not as if I didn't benefit.
I just hope you remember my role in helping you find what you were after.
I never neglect to repay a service rendered.
You'll always be welcome here on Balmora, sir.
I am most grateful.
You're welcome, my lord. Well, good luck with whatever it is you're doing.
Looks like that's all return tos. So, I guess I'd be here.
Agent Veld was able to relay a message to me. Your assistance is appreciated. As are these code cylinders you gathered. Rest assured, we will find them most useful. Again, my thanks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. God, I wonder what WoW's gonna score on that front. Jeez.
I've heard most satisfactory reports of your success in the Balmoran arms factory. And that fool Vol'argan played right into our hands. There can be no doubt. The Resistance is crushed.
Good luck with the final assault, Colonel.
Thank you. Captain Rigel is in charge of writing up the report on this one. If I could ask you for one final favor, that you report your success to him.
I mean, we all know that he is the greatest of all Dominors. And unfortunately, we cannot flirt with Lacris. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, J. Palmer. Unless you want to vote elsewise.
Grand Marshal Chiquetta is defeated, and the Balmoran arms factory is broken.
You smell like smoke and blood. Let me show you something.
On behalf of the Senate and the Supreme Chancellor, I wholeheartedly condemn the actions of these rogue soldiers on Balmora. They struck at Imperial targets without any Republic support. The Senate values its peace treaty with the Empire.
So embarrassing for the Senate, forsaking their own people. Meanwhile, Imperial intelligence has begun interrogating our captives. I'm giving the Jedi to Darth Maul to see if they can be turned.
I did what an Imperial army couldn't do. I hope you appreciate that.
Oh, I do. I certainly do. I'm gathering troops for a clean sweep of the Balmoran arms factory. I'm making it my base of planetary operations. My governorship would be very different without you. You have my gratitude for your assistance.
Working with another Sith is always inspiring.
Perfectly said. It's time I return to ruling. There are new reports of resistance activity. Should you choose to remain on Balmora, perhaps I'll call on you again.
I'll just start up a new poll while we do some turn-ins here, if you don't mind. Voting. Voot! I actually have no idea if Darth Maul is a descendant of anybody. Looks like ironically, Darth Maul has almost no presence in vanilla Tor. It's a damn shame. We could do that. We could start doing the Balmora bonus on camera. I mean, we're doing the bonuses one way or the other. That's happening. Well, that's... Oh, that's right.
Well, this is certainly a happy day for all of us, isn't it? The whole Resistance is in shambles. The people's spirits are broken. Balmora is as good as ours.
It looks like there's still a lot of fighting going on.
Oh, that'll happen. That always does. The government in exile has lost its teeth. It's the Empire or it's anarchy, and people like peace. We cannot possibly thank you enough for your service. Decades we've been trying to win this war, and you've done it in a fraction of the time. Thank you.
And whatever you do, don't lose it in, say, a few months. When the Republic comes back through. While you have time to voot on that, let me go ahead and head this way. I guess I'll just hit this button. I'll just speed this up a little bit.
I found the artifact.
Oh,
Excellent. I trust Major Bessica was a good help. I've traced another artifact to Nar Shaddaa, but I'm still trying to locate the other two. I'll see what I can learn while you're on Nar Shaddaa. Now hurry. There can be no gain without haste.
Why in such a hurry? Oh, is that a new lightsaber? Holy crap. I have a lightsaber again. Thank goodness. I know who you remind me of, little Sith.
I know.
His name was Ortan Sella. He was my master's apprentice.
Ortan
Sella also walked in with a Desaad shadow beast assassin, a beast called Veshik Ur.
What did this Ortan Sella and I have in common?
Your ambition outstrips your ability, and you don't hesitate to take what you don't deserve. Where Tulak Horde treated me as his ally, Ortan Sella treated him as his animal. He was once my greatest rival in the Order of the Shadow Assassins, but Sella stole his dignity and reduced him to a slavering monster.
I'm sorry you think I'm cruel. I didn't intend it.
You have nevertheless made me a slave. Like you, he bound Veshik Ur by force. Veshik had no choice but to accept his indignities. I don't know what happened to Veshik after I went to stasis, but I promise you, I will not be enslaved forever. That is a true statement. Alright, where's the boat at? Where's the boat? Oh, wow. Well, given where the vote's going right now... Yeah, because I don't feel like the extra hassle, Laterval. Because it is a hassle. And that's the simplicity. See you around, Pillagers Snow. Thank you for joining us. And for being extremely evil. My opinion doesn't matter that much, Warp Core, but it is kind of a give and take sort of a situation. Because on the one hand, I have to work more. I can't take a lunch break or an evening break or a morning break. I have to effectively play more of this game. So that sucks. But on the plus side, I can play the bonus series at my pace. I read through at my pace and pay attention to the story at my pace, and don't really have to, you know, sit here and actually listen to them yammer on about nothing and stupid stuff. You know what we could do? Let's do a test. Let's do a test. Let's do the Balmoran battle bonus series at my pace. And let's see what we think of it.
Is there something...
Captain Lever, special... My lord, we found them.
So I see. You weren't planning on...
I'll let you talk, Lacris.
Darth Lacris. Always a pleasure to speak with the Lord of Balmora.
If only pleasure were the subject at hand. You and I defeated the Republic at the Balmoran arms factory. Now the Resistance grows desperate, gathering their remaining forces for a final assault.
They've got at least 10,000 veteran fighters in the
Hey, there you go.
To overrun
10,000 troops.
Unless we stop them and obliterate the Resistance army. Either way, someone's about to win the planet, and someone's about to be crushed.
What makes the Resistance army so dangerous?
Tactical assessment, Captain.
The enemy's using choke points and toxic hotspots in the terrain to control the flow of battle. Our ground troops can't even reach their targets.
But you can give me an edge. Join the last battle for Balmora. Lead my army against this rebellion, and I will reward you dearly.
Definitely the last battle.
Your power, your title, your life. You'd lose them all if it weren't for me. Understand that.
You've served well. Colonel Proshin runs special operations on the front. He will work with you to plan a strategy. See that this world falls to us. Lacris out.
You know, that's an interesting point, Kira White Noise. I've never liked Kem Vol, but I think you've just given an excellent way to explain why I don't like Kem Vol. Because I don't. No, that tracks, Mr. Red.
Displaying all authorized destinations.
I've said for years that FF14 sits on two things for its gameplay. Its bosses, and its classes. A lot of the other things just aren't there. Hell, even the combat isn't that great. It's gotten better, obviously. But compared to something like Guild Wars 2, wow. Probably a lot of them, J. Palmer. Oh yeah, FF14 has definitely been on an incline quality. It's awesome. Hell, we tracked pretty much a linear line of an increase in quality as we were doing the FF14 run earlier this year. Correct, Orcano. I love white lightsaber cores. Or black with white surrounding. Although, I don't think Tor has a good black with white surrounding, because it just looks like gray, which just isn't my thing. I could be misremembering, though. Well, hang on. Let's check something really quick. I doubt it's here, but, you know. It's at least worth looking. I can't. Okay, whatever. Hit a wall. We're cool. Yeah, there's white gray. That's white black, which, yeah. And there's just white. I can barely tell the difference between white and white black. Look at that. In fact, hang on. Does it let me... So that's white right there. Come on. And that's white black. Yeah, that's about as good as that gets. That's actually not bad, though. I might spring for that. Not that. I'm not spending $22 on that, by the way. That's how much that costs. Roughly. Still, I might see if I can pick up one of those in the auction house. I do like looking cool.
You must be Colonel Proshin.
Ah, yes, the mercenary. You're, different than I expected. This army the Resistance has gathered. We're losing the last battle of the war, and manpower isn't our problem. But Darth Lacris promises you can help, and I've learned to trust her judgment.
Tell me what your forces require.
I've asked my men to identify priority Resistance targets for you. You'll move at your discretion, and we'll supply you with anything you need. And be careful if you stray into the toxic areas of the valley. We're receiving reports of some sort of insectoid infestation. Even the Resistance stays clear.
I've met your insects before. Man-sized, genetically engineered killing machines.
Then maybe you can assist us on that front as well. The base is yours. Anything I can do, let me know.
Damn. Yeah, I see it, J. Palmer. And that is pretty much exactly what I want of a lightsaber color. It requires 2,500 ranked PvP reward tokens. I don't even know how much that is, how fast you get those. Like, I don't have a sense of scale there.
You look distressed, Commander. Rebels got you down.
Have faith in the Empire, and the Empire provides. Yesterday, I woke to the news that Balmoran rebels had devised a way to avoid our censors, had developed prototype stealth ships out of shuttles stolen from us. But I did not lose heart. Today, a scout literally stumbled upon where the rebels have stashed those same ships. The Empire provides. Doesn't matter, some said. Nobody could storm the area, wrestle key codes for the shuttles from their pilots, destroy their anti-aircraft defenses, steal a shuttle.
Tell me the details. You know very well I'm capable of all those things.
I do, my lord.
The rebel pilots will have the keys you need to get inside a shuttle, but there's no way to override the rebels' automated defenses. You'll need to destroy the laser batteries before you steal the prototype shuttle, then fly it out under heavy fire and countless opposition. An adventure, for certain.
For the Empire.
Not what I picked, but, you know.
Blast it! I was hoping you were my reinforcements. No insult to your abilities, but I need someone who's willing to take on an urgent mission, fast. The Gold Nibre rebels have taken control of Traken 4, one of our outposts past the Marcaran wastes. If they get the gun emplacements functional, they could take out the Marcaran outpost in one shot.
What's your game plan?
I called for a full recon team. Top priority is to kill the power couplings on those gun emplacements. If you get that done before they attack the Marcaran outpost, the Empire will be in your debt.
I prefer our security breach to be known to as few as possible, but discretion's worth less than your combined talents. Exactly 52 minutes ago, a Republic spy infiltrated an Imperial capital ship. The blast-happy scum killed 16 loyal officers and made off with a sample of our most deadly bioweapon. Now this spy's on Balmora trying to hand the weapon over to the Republic. We must recover it first.
This is beneath me, but I'll do it.
Don't underestimate the spy. He crash-landed in the swamp. Republic search parties are moving in, but the real problem is the wildlife, Balmora's nastiest man-eaters. Also be careful with the bioweapon itself. The casing might be damaged, and I'd rather not have to explain 1,000 unplanned casualties.
That's fine. You worry too much. Wow, there are a lot of quests in this bonus series. Jesus.
Don't sneak up on me like that. I'm sorry. I've been on surveillance for 4 days. My reflexes are getting a little... I'm following up on a known rebel base location.
Sounds like you need some help.
That would be a dream come true. Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned dreams. One of the captured rebels admitted his team was scavenging unexploded thermal detonators from battlefields. They're using the thermite to build their own improvised bombs.
These rebels cannot get away with mocking the Empire.
Precisely my thought, my lord. If you're in, I think we should feed these scum their own medicine, steal their bombs and use them on them. I'll transmit the specs, where to get the bombs, and the best places to blow to bloody bits once you have them. If you pull it off, let me know. My superiors will want the gory details.
Literally, or... Also, sorry, Arcano, do you mind pulling out your lightsaber? So I can bathe in its glory. Hopefully not literally in that case. 3, 4... Yep, okay. Mine's boring. Nobody likes it. Oh, that's a no. Okay. I accept. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, you got the lightning thing, too. I'm rather fond of that. No, that's legit. I like that. It's very cool. It's very cool. I love it. I'm just red. Boring old red. So how much upward mobility is in the Empire, socially and politically? Well, if you're a Force user, you actually have a lot of upward potential for mobility. Now, the odds of you doing that are pretty low, because you have to remember that everybody who is above you got there pretty much the same way you are going to be trying to do. But, it's possible. You know, it's not something that can't happen. Unless you talk to Thanaton, then he's just a, you know, curmudgeonly old stodgy guy. I think that's how we'll phrase that. See, what we really need is the High Republic lightsabers. Which I'm a little surprised they haven't tried to add yet as a cosmetic to this game. And then charge $22 for it. Think of all the money they could make. So they have a completely different crossguard. And now you're going to ask me to describe it. Okay. So the part that's facing the person holding it isn't filled with lightsabery death, but the part facing the enemy is. So they can actually use it as a crossguard against a lightsaber. There we go. Alderaan? Oh, I don't think we'll manage Alderaan, especially if we're doing bonus series. Force series! We're doing Force series here, don't mind me. Sorry, I've done this quest chain so many times. Me and my friend, when we were doing the Imperial side, we would pretty much always do a couple of the bonus series, because we had to. I think I've mentioned that before. And most of the bonus series we would mandatorily do would be the earlier ones. So I've seen the bonus series for Balmora a lot. 5 times, I think? 6, counting this time. Something like that. Ugh, excuse me. Listen, crossguards are amazing. Especially the lightsaber crossguards. When I review a superhero show like of Earth's Mightiest Avengers, or Spectacular Spider-Man, or Batman, will I discuss the quality of the villains? No. I'm going to decide, you know, villains don't really count as people, right? So let's just eject them from the review entirely and leave it at that. By review, I mean discussion, because we haven't actually reviewed those yet. Although we might start reviewing it. That would be a cool idea. That shouldn't even be on this page. I like it. I actually like the High Republic crossguard, personally. As near as I can tell, I'm one of like 5 people who do. Hey, Monster Closet. That's right, villains are not people and therefore do not deserve mercy. Any questions? Oh, you know what? That's fair. Villains who have planets might deserve mercy. Maybe. Yeah, so as you can see, gameplay-wise, the bonus series is pretty much exactly what you're expecting. A whole bunch of X of Ys, and general irritation. The good news, and I know this sounds terrible, but this actually makes this better than most of the Republic bonus series. Yes, I mean that sincerely. Because even though it's one giant battlefield area which you go into and do like 15 objectives all at once, it's at least one giant battlefield area where you do 15 objectives at once, as opposed to like 4 or 5, which you hit sequentially, which just gets old and annoying. How? Ah, I see it. This is not Assassin, this is Sorcerer. It's right there. That's why I keep shooting lightning. Yeah, I picked Assassin as my alternate spec, yeah. My secondary spec. We're probably going to switch to that by the time we get to, like, Corellia. so we can sneak through a lot of the content and not have to be irritated by Corellia. There's Corellia. Good afternoon, Narset. Welcome to the good side of the polls. You only get 2, unfortunately. You can't just switch between all 5 or whatever. But, or maybe it's just 4. I don't know. But you do get 2, and you can swap between them pretty much at will. Okay, this way, this way. So something I've been meaning to do, I need to look at my talents. Nope, that's done. Let's see what else we got. Cooking meat does smell delicious. That's why I like burning people to death. With lightning! I just walk around and everything smells like bacon. It's great. No matter where I go. I mean, I'm with it, Wenlock. Legit. First of all, a crossguard, speaking of someone who's actually sword fought before, is an extremely useful tool. But second and more importantly, it makes a lot of sense for a thing like a lightsaber. In fact, a lot of the movies, the visual stuff, and the shows will have people, you know, crossguard with lightsabers. In other words, they make the action where they counter parry and hold it there. Even though that makes no sense because there is no crossguard. So what should happen is it should just slide right off of it. Ah, right. I remember. That being said, even if you ignore the potential parry purposes thereof, a crossguard does give you additional tactical advantages. No. Additional tactical options when it comes to using a weapon. So, that's nice. And yeah, Kylo's... Okay, Kylo's suck, but that's because he didn't have a crossguard. He had a, I want to burn myself because I'm stupid. I'm dead. Oh yeah, there we go. Woo! Just turbo dead there. Over here. I think the whole point of Kylo's lightsaber was that the visual effects team and the props team had no idea what they were doing. Oh, you mean in-universe. Right. That being said, ignoring the ridiculousness of Kylo's crossguard, I always liked the unstable nature of the beam. That was cool. I'll give you that one. Oh my god. Excuse me. I'm just so tired today. I apologize. Who knows, I might actually get to lay down a bit today. I've said that 3 days in a row, and it's never been true.
Damn snipers! Come out here and fight like men!
They're snipers.
Miss me, you cowards! Oh, pardon, my lord. Didn't see you there. Could I beg a moment of your time? Our mission would greatly benefit from your assistance.
What's happening here?
One of our fighter squadrons was patrolling this sector when they were shot down by resistance fighters. The pilots who survived were all captured. They are being held in that camp up ahead. The snipers guarding them are exceptional. Simply reaching this position cost me 8 men. My unit needs reinforcements to complete this mission, but that'll take time. Time those pilots don't have. We're out of options. At this point, only someone with your skills could rescue those pilots in time. Can you assist us?
I won't let the Resistance kill those pilots.
Your help is greatly appreciated. Good luck.
Well, yesterday I had trouble sleeping. Today I had to wake up early to go to the UPS store because they're stupid. And I have more time during the mornings and evenings, not more time during lunch. Warpcore's correct, though. I do get a lot more work done. I'm almost done scripting out the Diablo rewrite. I just need to finish up Act 5 of D3, and then I'm done.
These are grim days, friend. I am Captain Ransfell Newt, Imperial Command. Your presence here couldn't come at a better time. Please try to overlook the stench of death upon me. Sometimes the work we do to preserve the Empire is dirty.
Dirty work is my specialty.
Yes, perhaps the horrors I've seen and been forced to do are nothing to you. There's a terrible scourge terrorizing this world. The Colicoids. Savage, genetically enhanced creatures with a ravenous taste for human flesh. Emboldened by hunger, the Colicoids are encroaching on settled areas and Imperial holdings. Many of the Empire's finest have become food for these bugs.
Tell me what you want me to do.
I've developed a poison that kills the Colicoids when consumed. I've collected bodies of the fallen and treated them with the toxin. Then I had to cut the poisoned bodies into pieces. Now they must be dispersed around the bugs' nests. Will you do this?
I'm not squeamish about the jobs I do, as long as I'm paid.
I see, of course. You're a hired gun. Yes, you will be compensated. Please, just find your way to Bugtown in Broken Valley. Here, a bag of the poisoned body parts. Tread cautiously. It will attract the creatures in droves. Find the Colicoid feasting mounds around the area and deposit body parts on each mound. I hope you return to me in one piece.
Now, if I don't, but I'm still talking, will that bother you, or will that just be normal? No judgment, I'm just curious.
Master Puntillo, target's preparing to move out.
But you still refuse to attack!
My men are corporate security, sir. We can't defeat Republic commandos in a fair fight.
Then, you're fortunate I see one last option. Excuse me, my friends. You've arrived at a crucial time. I'd like to put a proposition to you.
What sort of proposition?
I was, a businessman. I supported the Empire when this war began, both in and out of the boardroom. The Republic sent a squad to kill me. They botched the mission, killed my wife and daughter. So my mercenaries tracked the commandos responsible.
We lured them from their base with a distress call, but they came ready for a trap. We can't afford...
I can afford anything! So since my men refuse to strike, I'll pay you to murder every squad member who took part in the attack on my family.
They will learn not to interfere with servants of the Empire.
I am pleased we have a deal. The commandos are scouting those polluted wastes. I'll need proof of their deaths. Blood. Dog tags. I don't care. But kill them. Make things right.
Well, that won't make things right or bring your family back, but, you know, I'll take your money. Money, money. Hang on, I'm gonna zip up here. Thank you, Sacred King. Jotting that down. The Alan Wake block. Thank you.
The rebels' facilities have been destroyed.
Some fireworks. You're fast, and you're good. Nothing like the smell of rebels roasting on their own blasted suitcase bombs.
Hit? Okay. Why couldn't we turn that... Okay, whatever. I'm not even argue it. Not even argue it. You have the ability to change quests remotely, game. I know this. I've seen you do this. Alright, yeah.
Travel route is confirmed.
The daughter of the Kubma. God, I hated that so much. If you ever think I'm down on Tor, watch that. You want to see me speak negatively about a game, watch me cover the Discovery arc. All 3 of them in Star Trek Online. Good God. Let's see here. Yeah, let's grab that. See how that feels. Oh, it was bad, Mr. Red. I was actually thinking about it literally just last night. I'm not sure that the jailer is worse than Ja'ula. And I know what you're thinking. Of course he is. No, really, really think about it for a second. Like, really compare and contrast the two. There's a time before I can even try them. The jailer is a thing in World of Warcraft. Okay. Okay. Sure. Whatever. The jailer is Takuvma's sister. Oh my god. It explains everything. It explains everything. Oh my god. Just... Yeah, the jailer is bad. And he is. And he doesn't get any kind of credit. But he is... I honestly think Ja'ula is worse than him. And at least part of it is because of what Mr. Red just said. A lot of the problems with the jailer is a problem with everything. Ja'ula's a terrible character. The jailer's a bad plot point. And you know, I was thinking about it recently. I don't think... Yeah, no kidding, Casual. I don't think it would have bothered me as much if not for that interview from the Blizz devs saying that the jailer was like this big conclusion to all of Warcraft's story up to that point. It's kind of like me saying that all of Star Wars was concluded by the Crystal Star. Ignoring the obvious problems with the Crystal Star isn't some big conclusory thing. It's not the end of some massive story arc.
When I get back to Sobrik, I'm jumping straight into a cockpit.
It's not anything.
Is going to pay.
It's just some other side story, like every other side story,
Just in
right?
time. They said they were getting ready to execute me.
Like, again, even if Crystal Star was a good story, which it's not. What is this nonsense? How would you... This goes back to that death of the author thing we were talking about just yesterday. An author can tell me, as much as they want to, that X is Y. But if I look on the screen and what I see is an O, then I roll to disbelieve. Now, hang on. Let's stretch this analogy a bit more, because remember, the big conclusory story to WoW happened in Legion. They already had their big conclusory story. So, like, imagine if they had the Hand of Thrawn duology, and then immediately after the Hand of duology was Crystal Star, and then they say, and Crystal Star is the big final end thing of years of storytelling, and it's like, what? Huh? Can I have some of the drugs you're on? To throw them in the trash, obviously. I don't want to be that drugged out. My God. Could you imagine thinking that that Crystal Star is some big conclusory story? I keep saying that. I need to find the exact quote. No, I'll tell you exactly what it is. I've actually done a little looking into this, Mr. Red. Now, they've never said this, and they never will. But what happened was the Blizzard staff who are working on World of Warcraft were falling under a bit of an overhaul and an upheaval. Partially because of the real-life reasons of the accusations and the horribleness and the lawsuit, which is still going on, by the way. But the other side of it was because of the fact that they were having trouble on pretty much every level. In fact, you know what? There's no other side of it. Sorry. It's just all the sides. It's just all of them. Everything was going wrong in the office. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to say, just chop off everything. They wanted to Etch-a-Sketch. Now, there's lots of ways they could Etch-a-Sketch the WoW story. They've even done this before, because they did it in Warlords, kind of.
When I get back to Sobrik, I'm jumping straight into a cockpit. The Resistance
up.
is going to pay.
But what they decided to do was to claim...
Dead for sure.
Shut up. What they wanted to... Yeah, they wanted to wipe this thing... You've noticed what Dragonflight is, right? On every level, Dragonflight is a complete reset of WoW. Gameplay-wise, they're completely changing the very structure of how dungeons are designed, classes function, quests function, how mounts function, how talents function. To be continued. I should probably turn the sound back on. Damn it, I can't turn the sound on. Bob! Oh my God, is he there? He's dead. Everything's horrible. Oh my God, they're all dead. It's so dead. Damn, the Resistance is trying to take the dead. Because they need food. So we'll take the dead. The dead will be dead! We're going after farms. Sorry. Alright, how many of you have done this quest, forgotten to loot that item, and gone off and wondered why the quest wasn't updating? Anyways, so the gameplay of Dragonflight is a huge Etch-a-Sketch, right? Then look at the story. There are several things they're doing with Dragonflight they have literally never done before. And I don't mean the fact that they're ignoring a bunch of previous canon. They do that all the time. No. But they're doing a 5-year time skip in between Shadowlands and Dragonflight that has never been done before in WoW history. The closest thing we have to that is the jump between Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft Vanilla. They're literally shoving in a built-in soft reset to the story to be able to just Etch-a-Sketch and start anew. Now, here's the thing. I agree with that. That is absolutely what they should do. In fact, it's what they should have done in BFA. Too little, too late, but it is still absolutely the right call. That's not my issue with it. Why are we ruining the soil? This is so stupid. Why are we doing this? My problem is the terrible way they've been handling it. Par exemple, this is the end of years of storytelling. Which is... No. And again, I'll tell you exactly why they did it that way. It's because they wanted everyone to think and feel like that Shadowlands was the end of the Warcraft that was, so they can have a Warcraft that is. Problem is, everything else connected to that statement. It has been actually suggested by money people that they take BFA and Shadowlands and literally eject them from continuity. That's really messed up. Now, here's an interesting question. Should they? In fairness, the reason the money people say that is not for anything to do with quality or creativity or storytelling. They're saying it that way because they're concerned that the brand has been damaged. The argument has been leveled. I've already devastated this field. This game. The argument has been leveled that most of the... So this is wrong. Let's just say that this is factually incorrect. The argument has been leveled that all of the terrible stuff that happened at Blizzard happened during the creation of BFA and Shadowlands. That is incorrect. That is factually incorrect. That is so incorrect that we can actually point to the quote-unquote receipts to prove how incorrect that is. Nevertheless, a lot of those things that were happening at Blizzard, allegedly and truthfully, all came to light during the tail end of BFA and during Shadowlands. Ergo, brand is damaged. What's really funny to me, you may or may not have heard that several investors have been trying to be greedy and get a little bit of an extra bonus payday by suing Actiblizzard for the sale to Microsoft because they insist they can get more money. The thrust of their argument is that Actiblizzard is worth more money than Microsoft is willing to pay for it. Now, that's a load of crock. But what's really funny to me about that is that all of that... Hang on, sorry. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Sorry. What's really funny about that is that all of that is focused on things that are not Blizzard products. When they say Activision is worth more money than they think, they're talking about Candy Crush. They're talking about Call of Duty. And whatever else. You can infer from that whatever you want. I just find that horrific on several ways. But that goes back to something I've talked about before, how a lot of money people are insistent that companies stop making video games in order to make more money. Which quite a few game publishers have already started doing. Okay. So. Cool. What's funny, if you pay attention to the history of it, Valve got in early on all that. You ever notice that? Most other gaming publishers got in years after Valve did. Half-Life 2 came out how long ago? Portal 2 came out how long ago? Yeah, Valve was ground floor of making money instead of making games. Most other companies try to do it different ways. 2K Games does it with, horrific practices and all that fun stuff. EA dipped hard into microtransactions, so did Actiblizzard. And then a lot of companies started really diving into the mobile market, which is also predatory practices and microtransactions out the wazoo.
Ah, hello again. Scans show the soil devastator's in full operation. Excellent. Thank you for taking the time to assist us. The operation would have failed without you.
Next time, don't look to me.
Understood. Understood. You don't need to worry about us. I've arranged for a small token of my gratitude to be sent to you. Thanks again.
You know, I never answered Django's question. Ideally, there should be a toggle. I know what you're thinking. So, hang on. Let me actually say the question out loud so you don't think I'm just talking to the air. Django asked what I think about the fact that other party members can and do choose dialogue choices for me, which not only changes the flavor and tone of the story, but means there's dialogue choices I don't get to see. Sometimes there's some unique ones, sometimes there's some cool ones. In some cases, it literally changes what we decide to do on the quest, because sometimes the light and dark side choices change what you're actually doing in the quest. Now, I think that's awesome. I think it's amazing, and I've given it many positives, mostly to gameplay, for how co-op friendly this all is. But there is a caveat, and that caveat is the fact that there should probably be an easy toggle. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's what Casual just said. Either don't group, which is the Dark Souls argument, or there's another thing you can do. So watch this. Orkano, go ahead and turn that quest in real quick. And in 20 seconds, Orkano will go ahead and... Oh, there we go. So the other thing you can do is this. And I'm just going to not wait. I'm just going to start it.
Isn't it? The men who killed my family. You've made them pay. The names. The names match the dog tags. They're dead. All dead. Go home now, Captain. My wife and daughter are avenged.
I'll have the men prepare for departure, sir.
It's not as satisfying as I expected. Perhaps I should see whether those Republic soldiers had families.
Dude.
Justice has been served. You won't gain anything by murdering more.
You may be right. I'll think on what you've said.
You'll also lose because you'll be paying for nothing.
Take a reward. Farewell.
Anyways, so that's the poor man's option to go... Oh, I like that lightsaber. That's the poor man's option to skip other players' interactions with you, is you can just go in and not wait for them. Not wait for the holo call, right? The thing is, that is our solution, not the game's solution.
State your business.
Again, there should probably be just a toggle somewhere that just turns that off or on. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I really like that one.
You butchered innocent people, Captain, and you're going to pay for it.
I assure you, this is all just a misunderstanding. The villagers, you see, they deceived us. They ambushed us, and we had to kill them. No impropriety, nothing personal in what happened. I simply did my duty. We can keep this simple, can't we? You can forget whatever it is you think you saw, and I can forget about leaving these credits sitting on my desk. Agreed?
No.
Turn yourself in, or I'll take matters into my own hands.
You. Leave me no choice, then. So be it. Colonel Aiden, this is Captain Varmet.
Yes, Captain.
I wasn't entirely truthful when I told you what happened with the supply drop-off.
Okay, so we've got... Sniper dude. And then several other... I still have several quests, good god. Yeah, that guy's turbo dead.
Nicely done. You rescued all of our pilots. I hope you made those coward snipers pay while you were at it.
I cut them down.
Ha! Just what I like to hear. Thanks again for your assistance.
I know, right? Maybe we should have just killed him. Things easy. Looks like I'm heading back there. I'm gonna go ahead and fly just so I have a chance to type this up, because I've been debating how to phrase this. I think it's just down to bad color distinction,
all authorized destinations,
and bad presentation, and bad filtering, which is just the normal stuff. Like, it really irritates me how easy it is to get turned around or lost or distracted with the in-game map tracker because of how it functions. So, like, it would be so easy to fix so much of this. So, first of all, give us a toggle to whether or not we see party members' quests on the map or not. First option, very easy to implement. Second option, make it so that bonus stuff is colored differently. So here, check this out. See this quest right here? Now, where is that? That's up there. Whoops, excuse me. Didn't mean to click that. Sorry. So you see that in the upper right there? That's the bonus series. I don't care about that. That's the one I care about, the one that's glowing right there. So make it so that this and this are different colors, rather than both being that same generic kind of yellow, khaki kind of color. You might think, well, we've also got the pink thing, but the pink thing has the exact same problem. Especially since, for example, I've got this down there, because heroics are listed as pink, in addition to planetary primaries, in addition to class quests. So that's 3 categories of quests that are all colored and showcase exactly the same, unless you literally reach up and mouse over the quest. This is, in short, very bad at a glance. So the color distinction and the lack of options all boil down to this sucking. And that's what I mean when I say the quest tracker sucks. Sorry, I wanted to... I've been meaning to talk about that since we finished the Balmora primary, and that's what I've been on about. It's been irritating me this entire time, because there's several times, and this is not anybody else's fault in party, where I've been going to the wrong spot and wasting time because I'm chasing the wrong quest tracker because I didn't mouse over properly.
You have your ship, Commander.
And you, my eternal gratitude, my lord. You are everything the Empire promises its people. The shuttle will go to our techs, be pulled apart, and its secrets made ours. Once again, order triumphs over chaos, and the Empire provides for those who hold true.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes it literally tells you to go to the wrong spot, including on the very planet we're on. I don't know if you saw this, but earlier when I had this menu up, this spot I was at wasn't highlighted, even though I had a quest turn in here. It only highlighted this one, which you can still see up there. So if I was to glance at this map, I might infer, based on at a glance, that I need to go up here and completely miss that there were quests back here and here that I still had to turn in.
Travel route is confirmed.
That's to say nothing of Belsavis, where it's much worse about that, because there's the teleporter route, and then there's the flight route, and both of them suck. Yeah, no, Belsavis' map got its own negatives, if you remember, and there's a reason for that. It's because it... Whoa! It's because it turbo sucked. Oh, Jesus. Sure, hang on. Let me just hang on. Let me warp up here. Oh, I remember the Bugtown heroics. Oh... I've mentioned many times that we used to do all the stuff while leveling. Well, that also included the heroics, and God, screw those heroics. As much as I'd love to give this game more negatives to gameplay, let's just not. Let's just not.
Is there anything wrong?
You see, we're setting up a new base of operations where Outpost Freedom is now, but those colicoids are proving a headache. Our orbital bombers have specialized toxic bombs to drive them off, but apparently they need infrared markers to aim at. I'm looking for someone to place those markers.
If this was so simple, you'd have placed those markers by now.
Well, there are a ton of colicoid nests in that area, but nothing you can't handle. We need the markers placed in these locations. Once they're all in place, I can order the bombardment.
Warn me first. If I look up and see toxic bombs overhead, I will be unhappy.
I'll contact you when I read the markers are in place. Watch yourself around the colicoids.
Yes, Blade Terval. I will be displeased. So Mike Romano asks a very valid question. How many negatives have we given the lifts? I'm not sure if we've actually given those negatives yet. I wanted to show off several of the worst lifts, and ironically we've showed off all but one of the lifts I wanted to show off by now. There is one last lift, which might not even be in the game anymore, but it's a terrible lift, and I want to show it off sometime. And by sometime, I mean probably about next Tuesday. I'm not sure, Latario. Legitimately. I do have several things set up so that the lag between viewer and me is less, but that also depends on your internet connection. So I do not know. Wow, the bonus is to kill 45 of these damn things. Jeez Louise. At least this stuff shares. Thank God. I'd say, could you imagine? But I don't have to imagine that. That's right, we might not get finished. We're gonna do it. We're gonna finish Balmora. We're gonna finish Balmora. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You don't understand. It has to happen. Even if I have to spend all this money on these things. There we go. Whoop. Went too far. Nope, didn't go far enough. Oh, about to die. Yeah. On the plus side, once we're done with any planet on this particular playthrough, we don't really have to do that planet ever again. Oh, sure, we have to do the class stuff, but you know what I mean. It's one of the reasons why I shoved Inquisitor to the front of the list. Because we never have to do Drome and Kos again. And by lunch, we will never have to do Balmora again. And I know that's pathetic and terrible, but God, that's such a relief. That's such a relief to know that. Every planet we knock down is done at this point. And by the way, just to make sure that I say it verbally and on camera, I want to say again, thank you to Arcano and Vigilant and me hitting the wrong button for helping me to slash through this crap and just get it over with. So hang on, yeah. Do you mind, when you get a chance, Arcano, when you hear this, do you mind pulling out that saber so I can see it up close? Because I haven't seen it in cutscene proper. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. There's just killer points everywhere. Fine, whatever. I think I liked the dot spec better than the nuke spec. I don't know. I certainly have a lot of lightning, but almost all of it's standard cast times, and I don't know, I don't feel it as well as I did the other one. Up there. Okay, so zoom in. Now that looks pretty cool. I like that. Check it out. I know the grass is kind of in the way, but you can kind of see it there. No, that's legit. I like it. I like it. Almost makes me regret that my Sith Warrior actually has a red lightsaber. Almost. So there should be another one over here. Ish. There it is. I knew it was over here. It's right there. So this is gonna get me killed, but it's okay. Oh, looks like you just killed the question bot. That's okay. That's okay. Let me fix that really quick here. I'll say I usually get the Founder Crystal, which I used to use on everybody, because it added a bunch of stamina, which was actually really overpowered at level 1, and it had no level recs. Remember when crystals used to be a substantial amount of stats? Anyway, sorry. So you asked, if I could make a Star Wars game at any point in the EU, where would it be and what would the premise be? Okay, you gotta give me something. Like the genre of the game, at least. Because there's a lot of Star Wars games I'd love to make. Like a strategy game, or a strategy game, or a strategy game. or a strategy game, or TIE Fighter 2. Like, all of those sound appealing to me. You gotta help me narrow it down a bit. A dating sim, which could be a strategy game. I like your thinking. Strategic dating. I can't believe I lived through that. I mean, I dinged. Top 5 Star Wars games. So, okay, I'm not actually being facetious. I'm really not. Strategy game. So, first thing I'd want is a proper Star Wars 4X. I've been wanting that for years. We've never gotten it. It is a vacuous hole in my wish list of game design, and we've never gotten it, and we probably never will at this point. So, proper Star Wars 4X. I'm going to get out of that now. Strategy game number 2, a proper space-based RTS. What I'm effectively describing is Homeworld, but Star Wars Homeworld. Strategy game number 3, a proper ground-based strategy game. Now, I've actually been thinking about the various different ways that I would want that to come up, because there's so many different ground-based strategy games you could do. But the more I think about it, the more I kind of want something grandiose, which is probably going to drift into Total War territory. Something along those lines. So that's hang on, that's the 4X game, that's the space RTS, that's the ground RTS. The next one I would love to do would be something like, honestly, Crusader Kings, but in Star Wars. Really lean into the politics of it. Make a true political, grand strategy game in Star Wars. So that's 4 strategy games now. Paying attention. There it is. The 5th strategy game I would want to make, because I could probably come up with more than 5, would be some kind of management sim. Now, the problem is, I'm actually a little torn on that, because there's a lot of directions you could take that, and I like all of them. You could make it managing the creation of clones for a clone army on Kamino. You could make it managing Cloud City or something similar. You could make it about designing your own criminal empire. You're either working with the Hutts or against them or have nothing to do with them. You know, playing as Black Sun. Like, there's a lot of directions you could take a management sim in. Star Wars. Return, where's that? Where's that? It's not here. Okay, cool. You know what? I actually love that idea, Loner. So I'm going to steal that. I just thought of a great idea. What if we do a management sim about... So, it's basically... This would actually be a city builder specifically. In the subgenre of management sims, in the subgenre of strategy. Make it so that we're trying to build up Terrace after its destruction. Like, that's the scenario. In fact, actually, a city builder in Star Wars could do a lot of scenarios like that. Where, you know, you're trying to rebuild Terrace, or you're trying to resettle the Alderaanians, or you're trying to deal with Dantooine's restructuring, or whatever, right? Yeah, exactly. Frostpunk, Star Wars edition. Well, we can't settle them on Alderaan, but we settle them somewhere else, Loner. That's the catch, right? The point is you're managing some other place, and all these refugees are coming in, and that's a problem.
Our bombers are pounding those colicoid nests into toxic dust. You do excellent work. Thanks for your help. You've certainly earned this.
Hi, Evo. Okay, looks like all the turn-ins are back there. Oh, nope. Wait, we've got a whole other zone, micro-zone to go to. I actually forgot about that. Cool. It's fine, it's just toxic dust. It's fine, it's fine.
Displaying all authorized destinations. Travel route is confirmed.
Hold on, what? So I know that doesn't really help you with your core question, which is, where would it be in the timeline? But I hope you understand that when I say that you know, what Star Wars game would you make? All of them are strategy games. Except for TIE Fighter 2. I just really want TIE Fighter 2. But, you added the proviso, I have to make a Star Wars RPG.
You've returned.
Tell me you were able to deposit the poisoned body parts throughout the colicoid nest.
It was actually quite simple.
If the colicoids associate eating human flesh with dying, their survival instinct will steer them away from us as a food source.
I can't tell how much you're joking, Evo. Because I don't know how much of my speech you just heard. Since I just mentioned 2 separate Star Wars RTSs I would love to make.
Travel route is confirmed.
But... no, it was only 2 RTSs. It was a 4X, a space-bound RTS, a ground-bound RTS, which are very different things, a grand strategy game, and then the city builder game with scenarios. Those were the 5 strategy games I just posited. And then TIE Fighter 2. Because TIE Fighter 2, I don't need to add that one. Yeah, sorry, RTS is actually a subgenre of a subgenre. A Gungan game. Brilliant! Okay, we're going to make a Gungan RPG. It's set during the purge of the Gungans, which Anakin leads, because he's sick of them. And you play as a Gungan, and you have to bravely fight against the people mass murdering and genociding your people, and you fail, and you die. Yeah, the end. That's it. That's the last mission is you being killed. Not by Darth Vader. You're running away from the Imperial troops and you trip and you break your neck. The end. Credits roll. To triumphant Imperial music.
This is Lieutenant Zach Harrell, 83rd Platoon. It's my final duty to report. Mission failure. My squad had orders to recover stolen Imperial data card from Resistance fighters. Recovery complete, but my men suffered extensive injuries. Ambushed by Republic patrol. Many men too injured to run. Wouldn't leave them. Not to those animals. We stood our ground, called for air support, but the enemy must have jammed our signal. Republic scum slaughtered my men, shot the wounded where they lay, and left me for dead. The enemy stole the data card. They now possess codes to open any Imperial security door on Balmora. I accept full responsibility. Should have run when we had the chance. Overheard them mention a computer at their outpost. Taking the coded data card there for decryption. If reinforcements find this message. Recovery of stolen coded data card, maximum priority. Find Republic outpost. Retrieve coded data card. Return to Captain Laba at our forward base. He'll know what to do.
Never send an Imperial to do a Sith's job, I always say.
Lieutenant Zach Harrell. Signing off.
I just had a horrible idea for a roguelike. You ready for it? So you play an Imperial. You start off with X troops who are at your command. They just run around, kind of swarm around you like pets or minions. And your job is to genocide a particular group of people on a planet. Not the whole species, obviously, just like one specific group of those people. So that's the randomization. That's the rogue part, right? It randomizes their composition, their equipment, how good they are, what their level is, and how hard, how many defenses they have, what kind of allies they have, all that stuff, right? And your job is to wipe them out as quickly as possible. It's actually timed. And the faster you go, the better off you do. You get more prestige. You can literally spend prestige to give yourself more equipment, more troops, maybe borrow a particular Sith at some point or another, like as a cooldown. The tutorial mission is wiping out the Gungans. Or at least one pocket of the Gungans. Well, it's not like there's a timer counting down, Act. There's just a timer counting up. How long does it take you to complete the mission? Bazak? I mean, sure. You can probably code that in about an afternoon and put together some, you know, gameplay formats for that in about a week. The question is, what do you do with it after that point? Because that's just kind of a non-game. I mean, we could just do that. Let's make it a non-game. A Dynasty Warrior style game. We can think. I've never answered your original question, Latario. Sorry. So, but rather than all these amazing, awesome, incredible games, we've had a gun that Evo is using, and she's shoving it into our face, and she's like, "You have to make a Star Wars RPG." So when do you set a Star Wars RPG? This is going to sound strange. The reason I don't have an answer ready to go on that, unlike everything else, is because that's never really occurred to me. I actually have no real interest in making an RPG set in Star Wars. Some of the only good games we've ever gotten in Star Wars are RPGs. We're good on that. Let's make some other stuff. But let me think about this. Forgive me, what's the Knight Errant era? That sounds like the second RTS I was suggesting, Evo. Now, would you go Grand or Micro with it? Oh, speaking of which, we absolutely need a Star Wars XCOM. So there's your 6th strategy game I've come up with for Star Wars. Is it? Am I being too obvious about what I want in this out of this franchise? I feel like I'm being too obvious with it. Okay, so I need that. That's there. Okay. Between the new Sith Wars and the Russian Reformation. I'm going to admit that I don't know when that is. At least not off the top of my head. Dude, that sounds awesome. A house in the middle of winter? That's great. And you got divorced! Win-win. It was written by Evo. Thank you for the picture! Exclamation mark. He's actually looking better than I was expecting. Period. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it. My great uncle is in the hospital right now. He just had surgery yesterday to remove a tumor from behind his eye. Yeah, I was worried he was going to die. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to build it up. I was worried he was going to die. He is currently in recovery. Lore Mom just sent me a picture of him. Like I said, he looks better than I was expecting. I don't remember if it's random or if it's like a specific one. Anyways. Let's say something. What's the worst game idea I've ever come up with or heard? Got it. Let's make a game that's all about not actually doing anything or playing anything, but a bunch of flashy stuff's going on, and occasionally the player has to hit a button to feel like they're actually deciding something. Let's build this as a strategy game so that people who are interested in complex or engaging games, aka mostly nerds, will get involved in it. Let's also make it so that this game has an enforced PvP element, so that no matter what, you are always going to be attacked or attacking other players. Let's further make it so that the only way to really get ahead in this game is to spend a fairly large amount of real money on the game. Now, which game was I just referring to? Blade Torval has the right of it. The answer is a lot of them.
The spy was dead when I found him. He hid the bioweapon, but I dug it up.
Poor Republic. All that trouble for nothing. At any rate, congratulations. I'll include a full description of your heroics in my report. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must see to the bioweapon safe transport off Balmora.
Yeah, it's really pathetic. If I was to go Google... In fact, here, I'll do it. Hang on, let me find the, where are these people? They're over there. And he's right here. There you are. One moment, Evo, and I'll answer you. In full and total totality.
You don't need to worry about the Gold Nibre anymore.
I am in your debt. I just found out that my reinforcements were killed by a rebel ambush. Without you, the Gold Nibre's attack would have succeeded for sure.
You are not prepared. So if I was to go Google right now, best mobile strategy games, we've got a couple of ports like Civilization 6 and Rome Total War. But literally the first thing that pops up is Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. Both of which are the not actually strategy game variety I was just referencing. Now, that's of course just an immediate Google glance, but the problem is that's as far as most people go when it comes to looking for this kind of thing. However, if you were to pick up something specific like an actual article, which you'll find is a whole lot of nonsense. Hang on, so Raid Shadow Legends, which is not a strategy game, Mafia City, which is not a strategy game, Elvenar, which is not a strategy game, Forge of Empires, Rise of Cultures, I actually have seen most of these, Bad North, hang on, Plague Inc. is there, Kingdom Rush, Dominations, yep, Iron Marines, hang on, there's actually a couple of real games here, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Kingdom 2 Crowns, I recognize a lot of these, this is all Mobage, just pure Mobage.
Captain Labber, 83rd Platoon. I'll do my best to serve, my lord, though my resources are limited. One of my squads disappeared while returning from an important mission. I'm mounting a search and rescue operation.
The situation is under control, Captain. I finished the mission your men started.
Finished? You don't even know the details of our mission. Wait, that data card you're holding, I recognize those markings. That's the security codes the traitor stole. I sent Lieutenant Haral's squad to recover that there. They didn't make it, did they?
They fought bravely, but they were outnumbered by Republic forces.
I served with Lieutenant Haral for 6 years. This must not stand. It's time to burn every Republic outpost to the ground. Show those dogs how the 83rd Platoon avenges its fallen. I'll organize what's left of my command and drive those scum off Balmora by myself if I have to.
Lieutenant Harrell stood his ground when he should have retreated.
Hurrah was one of the best I've served with. But you're right. We need a solid plan of attack. It's good you retrieved that data card. If the Resistance had cracked our security codes, their saboteurs and commanders could have struck where we're most vulnerable.
I live to serve.
You've done the 83rd Platoon and the Empire a great honor. I wish I could offer a greater reward, but I'm afraid this will have to do. I should file a report with Central Command. I appreciate your wise counsel, my lord. Good day.
I think I didn't get the question, or miraculously the bot didn't get the question about Dragon Age. Lataria. Did you notice how once again the light side option was the evil option? Or miraculously the smart evil option?
Displaying all
Not the first time on this planet where that's been true.
Route is confirmed.
There it is. So that was Balmora bonus series. What do you think? Should we take the rest of these off camera? So Evo says, why didn't I like your incredible awesome approach to the thing? Heh. So this is going to sound very stupid, Evo, but bear me out for a second. So you know me. I like to look at storytelling like a puzzle, and we work on it, process it, go through it, everything's cool. But what I tend to appreciate a great deal is bouncing ideas off of someone else who tells me ideas that probably can't and probably won't work, but they tend to spark something in me. For example, literally earlier this week, I was asking, I need Diablo to ambush the party with something that isn't demons. A whole bunch of people just shotgunned a bunch of ideas out, and I was like, oh, I could work with that. And we restructured and reworked it, and I decided to tie in the Adria story arc, and the Necromancer story arc, and the Nephilim story arc into the ambush, and there we go, it worked out. Cool. What you were doing is exactly what I would do. The problem is, you were trying to do what I would do, but you don't know the whole circumstances other than the basic question I asked you, which is, I need him to be after something. So you immediately ran into the exact same problems I've already run into, because we're both trying to do the same thing. That's why I'm terrible, stupid, and ugly. Any questions?
My lord, we feared you wouldn't survive. It's chaos out there.
And who do you think is responsible for that chaos, Captain? With every target you eliminated, the Resistance became more disorganized. I've ordered all available forces to the battlefield.
Our bombers devastated the enemy in the first 10 minutes. Their defenses are in shambles.
If you think the Resistance will fall this easily, you won't rule this planet for long.
Certainly we'll be cleaning up for months. But so long as they're on the defensive, they'll cease to be a threat.
We forced their 6th Battalion into Bugtown. The colicoids are eating them alive.
I think I'd like to see that. The lot of you are departing, I take it. Off to conquer new planets in the name of the Empire.
I've learned many things since becoming Sith. Not all of it needs to be shared.
That is why I respect you. Colonel, prepare my shuttle.
Yes, my lord.
When you think back to Balmora, remember the armies you laid to waste, the enemies you slew, and remember me, and the rewards I gave you.
And the sex we had with her.
I helped you out. You'll help me in the future.
However I can, of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have rebels to annihilate. Tell the troops, Captain, that today we win this world. Today the Resistance has fallen.
And if you're paying attention, the Republic being shoved into Bugtown is where the Republic starts on Balmora when we get to them a few months from now, canonically. So, nice little bit of continuity there. Hey, upgrades. And that was Balmora. I mean, that bonus series was kind of inoffensive, so I'm only giving it one negative. Which I suppose doesn't sound like much, but honestly, that makes it one of the best bonus series we've seen in the entire game. And that's not an exaggeration. Ugh. But no, why are you apologizing, Evo? Explain this again. I literally just explained how it was my fault, not yours. And how what I was looking for wasn't what I was asking for. So that's on me. Where the hell... How do I get on my ship? There we go. No, I did not, J. Palmer. Let's do this. I mean, you could help Eva, but you refuse to.
To see your master. I applied a fresh coat of paint to your quarters. Same color, of course, only fresher.
Thanks, 2V. Yeah, like I said, it's better than any other planetary primary we've had, so... Or, excuse me, planetary bonus series we've had. Oh yeah, Blue Mage all sits under minigames, by the way. It's all optional, secondary, chocobo racing style stuff. Yeah, okay. I think I agree with Shadow Machine. I really had to debate that. That definitely makes that the best bonus series we've encountered so far. Of course, that's going to slow us down a bit, because that means we have to do all the bonus series on camera, but that's whatever. So I'm going to debate your question while I grab lunch, Lothario. Although I do agree with the Jar Jar comment. I'm going to get rid of some of these things here. Although Casual asked a question I want to address really quick. Do you think most good Star Wars games are genuinely good in their own right, or merely decent games that are elevated by use of Star Wars? No, I absolutely think that any game that I mentioned that I think is a good Star Wars game is a good game that happens to be a Star Wars game. But don't mistake me. A good Star Wars game also interweaves Star Wars into the very core of its fabric, like KOTOR 1 or Fallen Order or TIE Fighter. But if you were to remove the trappings of Star Wars from all three of the games I just mentioned, they'd still be good games, right? You know, the quality isn't really going to be removed there by doing so. And I'm really just slouching a lot lately. I'm tired. I'm going to go grab some lunch and hopefully close my eyes for a bit. And then, Nar Shaddaa.